Chapter 1219. Arrive! You want to save Dan Guzi. Fong Guisheng's gaze swept over the elder, Zuokong, and the others. Then his expression turned extremely cold. That depends on whether or not you have the ability to do so. Let me remind you, don't be too arrogant, said the elder. Your cultivation base is the same as ours. You're all not good. The elder's expression changed before he could finish speaking, because he saw Fong Guisheng's feet on the ground, and he was charging towards him at an extremely shocking speed. Although their cultivation bases were the same, Du Chong was clear that he wasn't Fong Guisheng's match. Fong Guisheng was a peak mid-rank 9 sovereign, while he had just advanced to the mid-rank 9 sovereign realm. The difference between the two was enormous, even greater than the heavens. Bang! The difference in strength was huge, and the result was obvious. A muffled sound rang out, and Du Chong's body was sent flying, crashing heavily onto the ground. Zuokong, not only will Dan Guzi die today, even you will. I'll kill you. After sending Du Chong flying, Fong Guisheng turned to look at Zuokong. He was just about to spit out some vicious words, but his jaw dropped. Fong Guisheng realized that Zuokong had already moved to save Dan Guzi and the others. Fong Guisheng's expression was extremely unsightly. It was extremely unsightly. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have held back when he had punched Du Chong. But now Dan Guzi had been saved, and Du Chong's life wasn't in danger. Dan Guzi, what are you doing here? Zuokong asked curiously after saving Dan Guzi. Now isn't the time to talk about this. I'll explain everything once we deal with Fong Guisheng. Dan Guzi knew what was most important. That was to join hands to deal with Fong Guisheng, not talk here. Deal with me. Fong Guisheng coldly said, It's been a long time since I've exercised my muscles. Today I'll fight you. Fong Guisheng dashed out instantly as the word men rang out. Go. Zuokong and the others didn't dare to be careless in the face of Fong Guisheng. They immediately charged forward to fight. The battle between the 4 ninth-grade human supremes created a huge commotion, with shockwaves flying everywhere. Let's fight in the sky. Pil Guzi was very clear that if this battle continued, the capital would definitely be affected. After all, the 4 of them were 9th-grade mortal supremes and could easily destroy the capital. Whoosh! 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 The 4 figures instantly disappeared into the void. Rumble! Although Pil Guzi and the others were fighting in the sky, there were still occasional shockwaves. Every shockwave caused a house to fall apart. Zuokong and Du Chong, the 2 old dogs, are gone. Now let us play with you. Zhao Yong and Wang Song exchanged a glance, both seeing thick interest from the other party's eyes. The 3 cultivators that Zuokong had brought along were all peak 8th grade human sovereigns. They were the higher-ups of the Mystic Moon Continent's Alchemy Union. Although their cultivation levels were similar, the difference in their battle prowess was like heaven and earth. Zhao Yong and Wang Song joining hands. They would probably be able to defeat the 3 of them very soon. Swoosh! Attacking as soon as they said they would, Zhao Yong and Wang Song rose from the ground and charged at the 3 martial artists that Zuokong brought over. Damn it! Seeing as Zhao Yong and Wang Song were about to arrive beside him, Ding Cheng's expression was very ugly. After secretly cursing, he immediately retreated. Ding Cheng's battle prowess was the strongest one among the 3 of them. As for the other 2, Zhou De and Mo Shan, their cultivation had just advanced to peak 8th grade mortal supremes. Even joining hands, they could not contend with Ding Cheng. Under this premise, the 3 of them had no way of contending with Wang Song and Zhao Yong. Rumble. Being unable to contend did not mean that they would resign themselves to death. With Ding Cheng taking the lead, Zhou De and Mo Shan, the 3 of them, started a great battle with Wang Song and Zhao Yong. Bang! The great battle had just erupted when Mo Shan was seized by Zhao Yong, blasting several dozen feet back with a punch. Poochie! Fresh blood spurted wildly, Emo Shan's aura plummeted rapidly. Hoo-hoo! Silver spearwax head, nice to look at, but useless. Defeating Emo Shan in one move, Zhao Yong curled his mouth and said, I'll let you live for a few more minutes first. After dealing with Ding Cheng and Zhou Da, I'll come back and slowly take care of you. Bang! Bang! On this side, Zhao Yong easily defeated Emo Shan. On the other side, Wang Song even fought 1 against 2 and did not fall into a disadvantage. Furthermore, after fighting for a few minutes, Wang Song seized a rare opportunity and easily defeated Zhou Da and Ding Cheng. From the start of the battle to the end of the battle, merely 3 to 4 minutes passed. Zhao Yong, Ding Cheng, and Zhou Da belong to me. Emo Shan belongs to you. After the battle ended, it was naturally the time to divide the spoils of war. Not good, right? Half each. I want Ding Cheng and Emo Shan's half. Zhou Da and Emo Shan's other half belongs to you, Zhao Yong said hesitantly with slightly furrowed brows. Wang Song shook his head and said, You can't say it like that. Whoever defeats them belongs to them. How about this? Let's not argue either. Exchange a punch. Whoever wins, the 3 of them belong to them. Thinking about it, Zhao Yong said, Good idea. Raising his brows, Wang Song instantly charged out. His fist contained berserk essence energy undulations, smashing fiercely toward Zhao Yong. F***CK. Zhao Yong did not think that Wang Song would make a move so decisively. He did not dare to dally and immediately poured essence energy into his wrist. With a backhand punch, it collided with Wang Song's fist that could not be avoided. The exchange of 2 peak grade 8 human sovereigns. Although the aftershock was not as powerful as a grade 9 human sovereign, it still affected the surrounding Ding Cheng and the rest. Puff! Puff! Spurting fresh blood continuously, the originally heavily injured Ding Cheng and the rest had even weaker auras at this time, their complexions pale. After one move, Zhao Yong retreated 3 steps, while Wang Song merely retreated 2.5 steps. The result was obvious. Zhao Yong's expression was extremely ugly. Lost. Ha ha ha, Zhao Yong, thanks for letting me win. Ding Cheng and the rest belong to me? Laughing loudly, Wang Song's footsteps moved, walking towards Ding Cheng and the rest. Belong to you? Did you ask me before? Right at this time, a faint voice came out from the void. Whoosh! Closely following these faint words was a black figure that swept out. Not good. Seeing the black figure, Wang Song's mind turned cold, hurriedly retreating. It was just that Wang Song's attention was all on Ding Cheng and the rest. Shifting his attention now was clearly too late. Bang! The black figure's speed was very fast, arriving in front of Wang Song in a blink of an eye. A move slammed onto Wang Song's chest. The massive force that came from his chest made Wang Song fly out. However, Wang Song was well deserving of being a peak grade 8 human sovereign. His body that was flying out forcefully stopped in midair. Swallowing the sweetness in his throat, Wang Song said viciously, Damn dog, I spared your life earlier. Not only do you not know how to cherish it, you even came to sneak attack me instead. Idiot. The Dark Emperor rolled his eyes at Wang Song and said in disdain, If not for me being injured, do you think that the 2 of you joining hands would be my match? Now that I'm standing here, it means that your death date has arrived. Chapter 1220. Grab. Firmly. You didn't see wrongly. I'm just a peak grade 3 human supreme. Nodding his head, Ning Yu answered. Ha ha ha. Wang Song seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He first threw his head back and laughed wildly, then said sinisterly, A peak grade 3 human supreme actually dares to speak to me like this. Really tired of living. Ningyu, what's the point of talking crap with him? They're great tonics. Being bullied by Wang Song and Zhao Yong earlier made the Dark Sovereign very furious in his heart. The Dark Sovereign did not wish to waste time. He only had one thought in his heart, and that was to kill Wang Song and Zhao Yong, then devour them. Although devouring Wang Song and Zhao Yong had no way of advancing to grade 4 Human Supreme, his strength would ultimately increase a little, reaching the Dark Sovereign's level. Every bit of increase in strength was very difficult. Now that there was a chance, the Dark Sovereign naturally would not let it go. Great tonics? Indeed, an arrogant dog. Hearing the Dark Sovereign's words, Wang Song's brows raised up and he said sinisterly, "Today, I'll let you all know that there's always someone better, and heaven beyond heaven." At the same time the cold snort sounded out, Wang Song tore open the void and tunneled in. "The current me has already recovered to my peak state. It's already unrealistic for you to want to bully me like just now. Our identities should be swapped." Regarding Wang Song entering the void, the Dark Sovereign did not take it to heart. One-on-one, the Dark Sovereign did not fear either Wang Song or Zhao Yong. Crack! You tear open the void, I'll similarly tear open the void. The Dark Sovereign tunneled into the void, wanting to find trouble with Wang Song. Whoosh! However, the Dark Sovereign had just tunneled into the void when his expression changed drastically, because the Dark Sovereign discovered that Wang Song had already gushed out of the void since God knows when, arriving in front of the Sword of Evil. Smack! Grabbing the Sword of Evil's shoulder fiercely with his right hand, Wang Song said viciously, "Damn dog, trash grade 3 Human Supreme. I urge you guys better come over and kowtow a few times to me. Otherwise, I'll cripple him." Crack, crack. While talking, Wang Song's palm exerted a little force, pinching the Sword of Evil's shoulder until it gave off cracking sounds. "Zhao Yong, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and take control of Ding Qing and the others," Wang Song said while controlling the Sword of Evil. "I don't need you to teach me what to do." Zhao Yong had yet to walk out of the shadow of being defeated by Wang Song. He said coldly, "Ding Cheng and the rest belong to you. It has nothing to do with me." "Fool," Wang Song berated. "If you don't want to die, you'd best do as I say." "I won't die even if I don't do as you say." Zhao Yong did not take Wang Song's words to heart in the slightest. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and said indifferently, "In Zhao Yong's view, Ningyu was only a pinnacle grade 3 Human Sovereign, and his strength wouldn't be that strong. But the Dark Emperor's strength was very formidable. As long as the Dark Emperor and Wang Song exchanged blows, both sides would surely suffer heavy losses. Under the premise that both sides were injured, he could easily gain control of Ding Cheng and the others. Thinking about how he would be able to advance further after devouring Ding Cheng and the others, Zhao Yong even felt a little excited and could not help but laugh out loud. "Who says that you won't die even if you don't do as he says?" A nonchalant voice sounded out beside Zhao Yong's ear. "That's right. No, wait. It's you." Zhao Yong nodded his head subconsciously and answered. However, his voice had just said halfway when Zhao Yong's eyes widened, his right hand hurriedly blasting out. "Ningyu." No idea when Ningyu already arrived in front of him. In Ningyu's hands was a blood-red flying sword. On the sword body, thick essence energy pulsed continuously. Slash. Zhao Yong, wanting to block at this time, was clearly already too late. Ningyu swiftly brandished the red fiend sword in his hands, stabbing viciously into Zhao Yong's heart area. In order to be able to kill Zhao Yong in one move, not only did Ningyu pour all of his essence energy into the red fiend sword, he even wrapped the strength of initial stage grade 8 soul force around the red fiend sword. Ample preparation, formidable strength. With these two prerequisites, Ningyu stabbed the red fiend sword into Zhao Yong's heart very effortlessly. Ah! Sensing the horrifying devouring power emitting off the red fiend sword, Zhao Yong could not resist crying out wildly, "Wang Song, save me! Quickly save me!" In order to survive, Zhao Yong completely forgot the arrogance and disdain earlier, pinning his hopes on Wang Song. Damn it! Wang Song's expression flickered incessantly. Honestly speaking, he had confidence in dealing with Ning Yu in the beginning. But seeing Ning Yu's horrifying offensive, he instantly lost confidence. Furthermore, apart from Ning Yu, there was still an dark sovereign eyeing covetously. Save Zhao Yong? You have got to be kidding. Wang Song firmly remembered one point: as long as he controlled the sword of evil, Ning Yu would not dare to do anything to him. Wang Song, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. Seeing Wang Song's cold and gloomy expression, Zhao Yong nearly despaired. Become a ghost? You can't even become a ghost. The corners of Ning Yu's mouth curled up. His wrist shook, and he directly brought out the myriad ghosts' holy flag. Whoosh! A soul swept out from inside the myriad ghosts' holy flag, tunneling into Zhao Yong's sea of consciousness. Whoosh! Whoosh! Following that, 2 streaks of cold light flew out of Zhao Yong's sea of consciousness, entering the myriad ghosts' holy flag once more. Thud! On the other hand, Zhao Yong's 2 eyes rolled back, falling straight to the ground. Can't waste it. The Dark Sovereign had sharp eyes and nimble hands, hurriedly rushing out, 2 claws grabbing Zhao Yong's shoulders and flying to other places. Brat, where did that damn dog bring Zhao Yong to? Although he said that he did not care about Zhao Yong's life or death, the current situation, Wang Song still had to inquire. Relax, it'll be your turn in a while. Ning Yu's voice was still very calm as he said, the 2 of your fates were already destined from the moment you guys opposed the Dark Sovereign. Wanna kill me? Ha ha ha. I have your weakness in my hands. What right do you have to kill me? Wang Song laughed wildly and said, as long as you dare to approach me half a step more, I'll send him to the Western Paradise. Whoosh! Right at this time, the Dark Sovereign flew over from afar alone. Damn dog, where's Zhao Yong? Seeing the Dark Sovereign return alone, Wang Song said in a cold voice, if you dare to kill Zhao Yong, Elder Fong definitely won't let you off. Elder Fong? If I didn't guess wrongly, it should be that person being besieged in the void, right? Ning Yu said coolly. Humph. Good that you know. Give you guys a word of advice. Best not act rashly without careful consideration. Otherwise, Elder Fong will send you guys to hell. Wang Song said in a cold voice, as if he had a well-thought-out plan. Delicious, truly delicious. The Dark Sovereign stuck his tongue out, licked his lips, stared at Wang Song with a scorching look, and said, that guy just now was too skinny and weak, not even enough to fill the crevices between my teeth. You're not bad, rather fat. You should be able to let me eat my fill. Why were you? You ate Zhao Yong? Wang Song's eyes opened wide, a look of horror written all over his face. Zhao Yong was the same as him, both peak 8th grade human supreme. Although his strength was a little stronger than Zhao Yong's, it could virtually be ignored. Now even Zhao Yong was devoured. One could imagine his outcome would not be much better either. Thinking up to here, Wang Song grabbed the sword of evil firmly, not daring to relax in the slightest. Chapter 1221. See through. What's the big deal? Isn't it just eating a person? Is there a need to scare you until like this? Curling his lips, the Dark Emperor said, if I wanted to swallow you up, I would have long made a move. How could I possibly wait until now? Dark Emperor, you go and take a look at the sword of evil and Xiaolonei too. Assist them to recover as soon as possible. Leave the matters here, to me to settle. Waving his hand, Ning Yu indicated for the Dark Emperor to go and take care of the sword of evil they all first. Although Wang Song was a peak grade 8 human supreme, with Ning Yu's current strength he did not fear at all. It was just a matter of time for Ning Yu to want to kill Wang Song. The reason why Ning Yu did not choose to kill Wang Song straight away was entirely because he wanted to know what Wang Song they all came over for, why they came to the Great Xia Kingdom. Recently, more and more powerhouses appeared in the Great Xia Kingdom, and the cultivation of these powerhouses, the majority were high-level human sovereigns. Rising winds and scudding clouds. It was really rising winds and scudding clouds. Shaking his head, Ning Yu temporarily tossed aside the thoughts in his mind. He extended 3 fingers towards Wang Song and said, 3 questions. As long as you answer 3 of my questions honestly, I guarantee that I won't kill you. What questions? Wang Song saw the situation before him clearly. Ning Yu and the Dark Emperor. He could not afford to provoke them. Under this premise, he could only feign civility and drag the time as much as possible. Towards Fang Guosheng, Wang Song had an almost obsessive trust. Forget about 4 grade 9 human sovereigns encircling Fang Guosheng together. Even if 8 or 10 people encircled at the same time, Wang Song would not have the slightest bit of worry either. In the massive alchemy association, the martial artists who knew Fang Guosheng's true strength, apart from him, there was probably no one else. Back then, he saw Fang Guosheng in a forest. At that time, Fang Guosheng was surrounded by 3 powerhouses, 2 peak middle stage grade 9 human sovereigns, 1 late stage grade 9 supreme. But such a powerful lineup was also defeated and killed by Fang Guosheng. Ever since then, Wang Song was even more determined to follow behind Fang Guosheng, because Fang Guosheng, this person, was too terrifying. With Elder Fang's strength, he will probably win in half an hour. In other words, I only need to delay him for half an hour. Wang Song's eyes swiveled, and he continued, Forget about 3 questions. Even if it's 10 questions, I'll tell you. Oh. Hearing Wang Song's words, Ning Yu's brows rose, and he said, You're quite smart. This isn't a question of being smart or not. When one is under someone else's roof, one has no choice but to lower one's head. Besides, I haven't lived enough yet. At this moment, Wang Song seemed to have seen through something. His tone was calm, without joy or sorrow. Kiki, it is much easier to converse with intelligent people. Ning Yu let out a smile and said, First question, why did you come to the Great Xia Kingdom? We want to kill Zuokong, and Zuokong received news from Dong He that a pill puppet appeared in the Great Xia Kingdom. He wants Zuokong to come over and provide assistance. Wang Song said, Since Zuokong is coming to the Great Xia Kingdom, we naturally have to follow. Apart from killing Zuokong, what else do you want? Ning Yu continued to ask. Find the heaven-swallowing hound. Wang Song didn't have the slightest hesitation as he replied, An upper echelon from the Elixir Completion Continent's Alchemist Union headquarters is injured. He needs to consume an elixir refined by the heaven-swallowing hound to recover. You can say it like this. Our main mission is to find the heaven-swallowing hound. Our secondary mission is to kill Zuokong. This matter about the Dark Emperor being a heaven-swallowing hound. Apart from the few of you, is there anyone else who knows? Ning Yu asked again. Yes. Wang Song nodded and said, Fang Guosheng had already sent the news back to the Elixir Completion Continent's Alchemist Union. I reckon that after a period of time, someone from the Alchemist Union will come over to receive us. After asking these questions, Ning Yu's expression became rather gloomy. Things seemed to be developing in an uncontrollable direction. Fang Guosheng's strength was already heaven-defying enough. He didn't fall into a disadvantageous position even when fighting against 4 by himself. Instead, he even had the upper hand. It was imaginable how formidable the strength of the injured upper echelon that made Fang Guosheng personally come out to find the heaven-swallowing hound. What a headache! Originally, after killing the Saber Mountain Venerable, Ning Yu's goal was very clear. Let Empyrean Spirit Void save his father first, then think of a way to go to the Supreme Nine Purities Temple. Who could have thought that a Fang Guosheng would charge out halfway, thoroughly messing up his plans? Right now, his father Ning Hai had not completely woken up yet. The matters were all piled up here, giving him a huge headache. Should I make a move or not? Seeing Ningyu's appearance, Wang Song seriously burst forth with a hint of a fierce look. Wang Song was very clear that right now was the best opportunity to make a move and kill Ningyu. Missing this village, there would not be this shop anymore. But Wang Song was also very clear that once he failed, then his outcome would be the same as Zhao Yong, being devoured by the Dark Emperor. Wang Song was very conflicted in his heart. Fight it out. After a short period of musing, Wang Song still made a bold decision. Make a move and kill Ningyu. In order to be able to succeed in one move, Wang Song twined Peak Tier 8 soul force around his left hand, the essence in his sea of consciousness twining around his right hand. Bang! Bang! 2 punches slammed out. Immediately, 2 streaks of astonishing fist light charged toward Ningyu, one in front and one behind. Chi! The first streak of fist light was completely formed from soul force. In a blink of an eye, it arrived in front of Ningyu. Humph! At the critical moment, Ningyu gave a cold snort, then brought out the red fiend sword that he carried around with him, slashing out with a sword. Shred! The red fiend sword's speed was very fast, directly cleaving Wang Song's soul cold light into 2 halves. Whoosh! At the same time, Wang Song's second streak of fist light already arrived above the top of Ningyu's head, suddenly rumbling down. Universe Palm! Ningyu put away the red fiend sword unhurriedly, then pushed out with his right hand horizontally. Accompanied by a low cry sounding out in his mouth, a horrifying palm print stripped out from Ningyu's palm. Smack! 2 palm prints collided. That kind of horrifying aftershock did not appear. Instead, the 2 palm prints both dissipated. What's going on? This kind of change clearly exceeded Wang Song's expectations. Towards the palm print that he displayed, Wang Song was very confident. Now, the palm print that he was proud of was easily blasted apart. How could Wang Song possibly not be shocked? How could he possibly not be dumbfounded? Wang Song, I gave you a chance before. It was you who didn't know how to cherish it. Right at this time, Ningyu's nonchalant words sounded out by Wang Song's ear. Following that, Ningyu's body gradually became illusory. Not good. Ningyu's body had just disappeared when Wang Song realized that things were not good and hurriedly retreated. However, Wang Song's retreat speed was clearly half a beat slower. His footsteps had yet to move in time when Ningyu appeared in front of him, right hand holding the red fiend sword. He stabbed straight into his heart. Puchi! A large mouthful of dark red, fresh blood spewed out. Wang Song lowered his head and looked at a blood-red flying sword stabbed in the area of his heart. His face revealed a look of despair. Your strength, why is it so strong? The moment before death, Wang Song used all the strength in his body to roar out, secretly telling you, it's not that my strength is strong, but it's that you're stupid, only caring about escaping. If you clash head-on with me, you'll at least have a 10% chance of winning. Chapter 1222. The situation is critical, you. Hearing Ningyu's words, Wang Song's eyes opened wide, his face full of regret. Extending his right hand and pointing at Ningyu, Wang Song opened his mouth, wanting to say something. But before the words came out, his body tilted and he fell heavily onto the ground. At this moment, the Peak Grade 8 Alchemy Master from the Alchemy Association headquarters, Peak Grade 8 Human Supreme, Wang Song died in battle. Whoosh! Where there was delicacies, there was the Dark Emperor. Wang Song had just died when the Dark Emperor flew over from the side. 2 front claws firmly grabbed Wang Song's sword light, tearing through the void and tunneling inside. Ningyu had black lines all over his face. The Dark Emperor's speed was also too fast, right? He had yet to have time to search through Wang Song's body when the Dark Emperor brought Wang Song away. Leave the things on Wang Song for me. Ning Yu was indignant. One had to know Wang Song was the Alchemy Association headquarters, peak grade 8 alchemy master. There were bound to be many good treasures on him. The Dark Emperor had a big mouth, eating people without spitting out the bones. Wang Song landing in his hands, there was an 80% chance that he would be devoured into dregs. Sha. Sure enough, roughly 3 minutes later, the Dark Emperor sped over from afar alone. Dark Emperor, can you not be so gluttonous? Seeing that the Dark Emperor did not bring anything back, Ningyu was immediately angered and said, "Just this once, don't do it again. If you dare to be like this again, I guarantee that you can forget about touching any martial artist you encounter in the future. Isn't it just a peak grade 8 human supreme? What's the big deal?" Rolling a glance at Ningyu, the Dark Emperor continued to help the Sword of Evil. Relatively speaking, Xialan's injuries were very light. The Dark Emperor helped her recover to her peak state very quickly. The Sword of Evil's injuries were heavier. Even with the Dark Emperor's help, he would not recover so quickly either. "Let me." Ning Yu pulled the Dark Emperor away and placed both his hands on the Sword of Evil's back. An endless stream of vital energy entered the Sword of Evil's body. At the same time, Ning Yu sent a portion of his perception into the Sword of Evil's body and began to examine the Sword of Evil's injuries. "Fortunately, my 5 viscera and 6 bowels are not shattered." After examining the Sword of Evil's body, Ning Yu heaved a sigh of relief. The Sword of Evil's injuries weren't very serious. Under such circumstances, coupled with his treatment, he believed that he would recover very quickly. The only problem was that even if the Sword of Evil was cured, the Sword of Evil would not be able to return to its peak state in a short period of time. Recuperation. The Sword of Evil would need at least 10 days to fully recover. "The two of you!" On the other side, Ding Qing saw that Ning Yu was treating the Sword of Evil. He opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but hesitated. To be honest, Ding Cheng was still very grateful to Ning Yu and the Dark Emperor. If not for Ning Yu and the Dark Emperor arriving in time, he, Zhoda, and the rest would have long been killed by Wang Song and the rest. Now that he saw Ning Yu treating the Sword of Evil, Ding Cheng felt that he had to help and could not stand by the side. "Ning Yu, they are calling you." As the Sword of Evil's injuries were very special, with Ning Yu's help, he was able to speak very quickly. The Sword of Evil understood his own situation very well. As long as he could speak, he could recuperate on his own. There was no need for Ning Yu to expend his own vital energy to treat him. Coincidentally, at this time, Ding Cheng and the rest wanted to say something, but hesitated. Hence, the Sword of Evil said to Ning Yu, "Go take a look. I can handle it myself. Be careful." Ning Yu retracted his palm from the Sword of Evil's back and said. After thinking about it, Ning Yu still felt worried and said, "Dark Emperor, send the Sword of Evil and Xialan to the royal family and let Ouyang Luan arrange a quiet place for them." Leaving this sentence, regardless of whether the Dark Emperor listened or not, Ning Yu got up and walked towards Ding Cheng. How troublesome. As the saying goes, take it easy, eat it easy. The Dark Emperor had devoured Zhao Yong and Wang Song one after another. This was a classic example of eating the shortest of others. Helpless, the Dark Emperor could only obediently bring the Sword of Evil and Xialan to the royal family. As for Ning Yu, he had long arrived beside Ding Cheng and said, "What Wang Song said just now, I believe you heard it too. I want to know how many words are trustworthy." Ning Yu was not so gullible. No matter how pleasant Wang Song's words were, he would not believe them all. He would only judge based on his understanding of the situation. Almost all of them are correct. Talking with Ning Yu, Ding Cheng did not dare to be neglectful and hurriedly said, "We've analyzed it before. The reason why Fong Guisheng they all are following behind us is largely because they want to kill us." "Why didn't they make a move on the way?" Ning Yu said doubtfully. With Fong Guisheng's 1 versus 4 combat strength, killing Zhuokong and the rest along the way was probably effortless. Why wait until now to make a move? It was a complete waste of time. Maybe they don't want to shed all pretense of cordiality with profound moon continents alchemy union. Thinking about it, Ding Cheng said, "Profound moon continents alchemy union's upper echelons know that we're together. Furthermore, we all have positioning crystal balls on us. As long as we're killed along the way, profound moon continents alchemy union's upper echelons will definitely know that it was Fong Guisheng who made a move. But Great Xia Empire is different. The news we received is that a powerful pill puppet appeared in Great Xia Empire. Fong Guisheng made a move here without any restraints. Even if the alchemy union's upper echelons pursue the matter, he can also pass this pot to the pill puppet and let the pill puppet take the blame. So that's how it is." Ningyu said, "Since you guys know that Fong Guisheng made a move against you, then why didn't you guys make any countermeasures? Elders Wu and Elder do have countermeasures. Otherwise, do you think that they can persist until now?" Ding Qing said. "What do you mean?" Ning Yu was a little puzzled as he asked. "Fong Guisheng is too strong, ridiculously strong." Sucking in a deep breath, Ding Cheng continued, "Although Fong Guisheng is only a middle-stage grade 9 alchemy master, his overall strength might surpass ordinary late-stage grade 9 sovereign. Ningyu, the most important thing now is to gather all the high-level human sovereigns in the Great Xiao Empire and attack Fong Guisheng together." Zhou Da, who was beside Ding Cheng, said anxiously. "Fool!" Ding Cheng scolded. "Fong Guisheng is a middle-stage grade 9 sovereign. Even if all the high-level human sovereigns in the Great Xia Empire come together, they won't be able to contend against Fong Guisheng. Is that all we can do?" Zhou De gritted his teeth. "There is a way, but we have to contact Elders Wu and the rest first." Ding Cheng's eyes flickered with uncertainty. He seemed to have made up his mind as he said, "I know of a formation that can transfer the energy of the other 7 people to one person." "What array?" Zhou De asked doubtfully. There were many arrays that could transfer energy to another person. Zhou De knew at least 3 to 4 of them, although those arrays could transfer energy to a single person. Most of them had a limit. In other words, the cultivation of the 8 cultivators in the array couldn't exceed grade 5 sovereign. The strongest array could only raise the cultivation of the cultivators in the array to grade 6 sovereign. Arrays of this level were useless to them. Chapter 1223. Never go back on one's word. The 8 Immortals Formation. Ding Cheng said in a low voice. 8 Immortals Formation. Ning Yu's heart skipped a beat as a horrified expression appeared on his face. He had seen someone use the 8 Immortals Formation in his previous life. At that time, 8 pinnacle 9th grade sovereign realm human sovereigns were forced into a cave with an earth sovereign eyeing them from outside. In the end, the 8 pinnacle 9th grade human sovereigns unleashed the 8 Immortals Formation, forcibly raising the battle prowess of one of the 9th grade human sovereigns to the Earth Sovereign realm, and successfully killed the Earth Sovereign guarding the cave. If they could use the 8 Immortals Formation, they might really be able to defeat Fong Guisheng. "Something's wrong." Suddenly, Ningyu seemed to think of something and said solemnly, "I remember that setting up the 8 Immortals Grand Array requires time and a large number of Emperor-grade origin crystals. Let's not talk about the Emperor-grade origin crystals. Just the problem of time is something we can't solve." Hiss! Ning Yu's reaction was beyond Ding Cheng's expectations. Even in the Alchemy Union, not many people knew about the 8 Immortals Great Array. If he had not seen a book in a hidden cave, even he would not have known about the 8 Immortals Formation. Based on Ning Yu's current state, it was clear that he understood the 8 Immortals Formation very well. In fact, he had even used it before. Thinking of this, Ding Cheng said, "My 8 Immortals Formation doesn't need time. I've already set it up." As he spoke, Ding Cheng took out a scroll from his bosom and waved it around. Sealed within this scroll is the 8 Immortals Formation. A sealed 8 Immortals Formation. Ningyu was a little suspicious. He had heard of the Eight Immortals formation and had seen people use it. However, he had never seen the Eight Immortals' grand array sealed in the scroll. "What do you want to do?" Ningyu asked. Ding Cheng did not answer Ningyu. Instead, he flicked his wrist and tossed the scroll to Ningyu. "Pa!" Grabbing the scroll, Ningyu asked curiously, "What does this mean?" "You are the strongest here. Naturally, I will leave the Eight Immortals formation to you," Ding Cheng said matter-of-factly. "We'll do whatever you want us to do. We won't hesitate." "Xiao!" Just as Ding Cheng finished speaking, the void suddenly split open. Then a cultivator flew out from the void. "Dan Guzi!" Ningyu reacted quickly. When the cultivator flew out, his figure flashed, and he caught him firmly. "Pucci!" At this time, Dan Guzi was pale, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. His aura instantly dropped to a freezing point. Not good. Although Ningyu didn't know that Dan Guzi had used the art of bloodlust, he was well aware of the condition of Dan Guzi's body. Dan Guzi's situation was extremely bad. It could be said that if he wasn't treated in time, Dan Guzi might very well lose his life. Ningyu didn't care about the consequences. He immediately sent a wisp of his spiritual strength into Dan Guzi's body to heal him. 10 seconds later, Dan Guzi's condition improved a little. His aura had just stabilized when Dan Guzi used all the strength in his body to say, "Ningyu, hurry and leave. If you don't leave now, it'll be too late." "Leave? Go where?" Suddenly, a calm voice rang out from the void. Crack! Then, the void shattered, and Fang Guisheng appeared in front of Ningyu and the others. At this time, Fang Guisheng was floating in the air like a god of war. "Today, all of you must die." As he spoke, Fang Guisheng sent out 3 palm prints. Bang, bang, bang. 3 crisp sounds rang out. Sage, Spiritual Su, Zuokong, and Du Chong were thrown out of the void and fell to the ground at the same time. This change caused Ningyu's heart to sink to the bottom. Even someone as strong as Sage Spiritual Su had been defeated by Fang Guisheng. One could imagine that even if he used the Eight Immortals formation, he definitely wouldn't be able to contend against Fang Guisheng. Ever since his rebirth, Ningyu had never felt such despair. This kind of despair was incomprehensible to ordinary people. "No, I can't die." With a shudder, Ningyu dispelled the dispirited thoughts in his mind. He stomped his feet on the ground and charged out. Surrendering before a fight was not Ningyu's style. He would rather die in battle than live a fake life. Dashing out, Ningyu wielded the red demon sword and slashed in the air. 10,000 holy flag! Since he had decided to fight Fang Guisheng to the death, Ningyu decided to throw caution to the wind. After he sent out a sword gleam, he sent out the 10,000 holy flag. From the left and right, the sword gleam and the 10,000 holy flag attacked Fang Guisheng. Whoosh! On the ground, Sage Spiritual Su and the others shifted their gaze to Ningyu. Although the chances were slim, they still had a glimmer of hope. The reason why they had a glimmer of hope was because Fang Guisheng was ridiculously strong. They understood the principle that things would decline when they reached an extreme. They firmly believed that Fang Guisheng must have used some kind of secret technique to defeat them so quickly. Perhaps, Ning, you could really defeat Fang Guisheng? There was always hope. Without hope, what was the difference between him and a salted fish? Crack! Bang! However, what happened next completely shattered the hopes of Sage, Spiritual Su, and the others. With a crisp sound, Ningyu's sword gleam shattered. The 10,000 holy flag was also sent flying to the other side by Fang Guisheng's slap. Through these 2 moves, Sage Spiritual Su and the others concluded that Fang Guisheng did not use any secret technique. The reason why Fang Guisheng could defeat them was because he was truly strong. It's over. I didn't expect to fall in the great Xia kingdom. Zuokong shook his head and murmured as he looked at Ningyu, who was making his final effort in the air. Sigh, we were too stupid and underestimated Fang Guosheng, Du Chang said with a sigh. Watch out, Ningyu! At this crucial moment, there was a sudden change. The Dark Emperor suddenly tore space apart, and his body grew several times bigger. The purplish-golden wings on his back flapped rapidly, sending a powerful gale towards Fang Guosheng. You're shameless! Fang Guosheng initially wanted to kill Ningyu, but when he saw the Dark Emperor coming over, he immediately gave up on killing Ningyu and turned to deal with the Dark Emperor. Crack! Crack! Fang Guosheng's attack was ruthless as he twisted his hands and broke the Dark Emperor's wings. Since he was going to use the Dark Emperor to refine elixirs, there was no difference between a dead or alive one. After breaking the Dark Emperor's wings, Fang Guosheng threw it to the side and said to Ningyu, Ningyu, I never expected an ordinary third-grade sovereign like you to have so many treasures on you. It looks like the force behind you isn't weak. How about we make a deal? Fang Guosheng said. You want to make a deal with me? Ningyu's heart trembled as his eyes rolled, trying to figure out Fang Guosheng's intentions. Soon, Ningyu thought of the crux of the matter, the Eight Immortals formation. Fang Guosheng must know that the Eight Immortals formation was sealed in the scroll. He was afraid that Ningyu would destroy the scroll, so he wanted to snatch the scroll before killing Ningyu. Throw the scroll in your hand over, and I can swear a heavenly oath that I won't kill you. Indeed, Ningyu's guess was right. Chapter 1224. A mysterious old man. Never go back on my word. Ningyu looked at Fang Guosheng suspiciously, his face full of distrust. Ningyu knew Fang Guosheng's character very well. Even if he handed over the scroll, Fang Guosheng would definitely kill him. However, Fang Guosheng would not let the matter rest if he did not hand over the scroll. Ningyu was caught in a dilemma. There's a limit to my patience. Seeing Ningyu's hesitation, Fang Guosheng said in a low voice, I'll give you 3 more seconds. If you don't hand over the scroll, I promise I'll make sure you die a horrible death. 1. Fang Guosheng extended a finger and cooperated. 2. Then Fang Guosheng continued. 3. When he said 3, Ningyu gritted his teeth. Fine, I promise you. That's more like it. Hand over the scroll. I, Fang Guosheng, am a man of my word. With a faint smile, Fang Guosheng repeated what he said earlier. Swoosh! Ningyu knew that dragging it out wouldn't do, so he used all his strength to throw the scroll into the sky. At the same time, Ningyu shouted, Go, everyone, run! Whoosh! At that moment, Supremacy Spiritual Su and the rest finally understood Ningyu's plan. Regardless of the consequences, all of them exerted all their strength and ran as fast as they could into the distance. Smack! However, Supremacy Spiritual Su and the rest did not run far before they came to an abrupt stop, because an old man had appeared before them. On the surface, the old man looked sloppy and ordinary, but Supremacy Spiritual Su and the rest were all shrewd people, so they naturally noticed something special about him. The old man's strength was even stronger than Fang Guosheng's. Without knowing if the old man was friend or foe, Supremacy Spiritual Su and the rest did not dare to leave. 8 Immortals formation. Good stuff. The old man's gaze swept across Supremacy Spiritual Su and the rest before landing on Ningyu. Without beating around the bush, the old man said, Hand it over. Boom! The old man's words caused confusion to appear on the faces of Venerable Spirit Su and the others. Didn't Ningyu throw the scroll into the sky? Why would the old man say such a thing? Damn it! At this moment, Fang Guosheng angrily descended from the sky. After cursing out loud, Fang Guosheng yelled at Ningyu, How dare you make fun of me? There's no one in this world. Who? Fang Guosheng stopped abruptly halfway through his reprimand. Fang Guosheng discovered the old man and realized how strong the old man was. It could be said that the elder's strength was something that even Fang Guosheng felt was troublesome to deal with. "Let me introduce myself. I'm from Emperor Divine Palace." The old man was very frank. "You can call me Bo, Emperor Divine Palace." Fang Guisheng felt a chill in his heart, and his face became a little ugly. The Emperor Divine Palace was a sect in the Mystic Moon continent, and it was an overlord sect. Even if he was a senior executive of the Alchemist Union headquarters, he could not behave atrociously in someone else's territory. Although he knew that Bo was powerful for the sake of the Eight Immortals formation, Fang Guisheng bit the bullet and said, "Since you're an expert from Emperor Divine Palace, you must know the principle of first come, first served. The scroll on Ning Yu should belong to me. Ning Yu belongs to Emperor Divine Palace. What right do you have to say that the scroll on him belongs to you?" Bo curled his lips in disdain. "You'd better leave as soon as possible before I lose my temper. Otherwise, I can't guarantee what will happen. You're threatening me." Fang Guisheng was so angry that his teeth turned green. He was originally the absolute overlord of this area, but who would have thought that an even more powerful old man would appear out of nowhere and take away the overlord position that belonged to him? This made him very angry. If you really want to think that way, just take it as a threat. Bo obviously did not take Fang Guisheng seriously. He shrugged and said, "Go away. Emperor Divine Palace and Ning, you have irreconcilable hatred, so I have to bring Ning Yu back to Emperor Divine Palace. I'll leave Ning Yu to you, and leave the scroll to me." Fang Guisheng was still struggling for the last time. The Eight Immortals formation was too rare, especially the Eight Immortals formation that was sealed in a scroll. Therefore, Fang Guisheng did not want to give up. "You're not qualified to negotiate with me. If you know what's good for you, get lost. Don't force me to take action." Bo's eyes gradually turned cold. Fang Guisheng had disobeyed him again and again, which made him very angry. What should I do? Fang Guisheng's eyes darted around, trying to think of a solution. The current situation was indeed very disadvantageous to him. With Bo's appearance, it would be very difficult for him to kill Ning Yu, let alone get the scroll. Regret. Fang Guisheng was very regretful at this moment. If he had known this would happen, he would not have wasted his time talking to Ning Yu. He would have killed Ning Yu as soon as possible. Wouldn't that be great? But now, not only was he unable to kill Ning Yu, but he had also lost the scroll that he was about to get. Why don't I fight him? Suddenly, an idea popped into Fang Guisheng's mind. Even Fang Guisheng himself was shocked when he thought of this. Although he was frightened, Fang Guisheng couldn't get rid of this thought in his mind, and it kept lingering in his mind. Bo, why don't you and I have a fight? The scroll belongs to the winner. The thought of fighting Bo grew stronger and stronger. It had become a knot in Fang Guisheng's heart. He had to fight Bo no matter what. Otherwise, he would definitely encounter inner demons when he advanced to the advanced stage 9 Supreme Martial Artist. You want to fight me? Bo raised his eyebrows and said, "You're no match for me. I advise you to get lost. Once I fight, someone will definitely be injured, or..." At this point, Bo paused for a moment before he said, "Death!" As soon as the word die was uttered, Bo stomped on the ground and dashed out. Whoosh! Bo was so fast that before Fang Guisheng could react, he had already appeared beside Fang Guisheng. Not good. At this critical moment, Fang Guisheng gave a loud roar and poured all the Yuan Qi in his knowledge into his fist. With a backhand punch, he met Bo's fist head-on. Whoosh! Whoosh! The two fists collided and the two figures were sent flying. This hurried move caused Fang Guisheng's expression to darken completely. He was no match for Bo in terms of strength. He was clearly at a disadvantage in this punch. "Don't force me to kill you." Bo's eyes were cold as he said in a deep voice, "Humph, you and I are both peak stage 9 Supreme Martial Artists. It won't be easy to kill me." Fang Guisheng snorted and said, Apart from being a peak stage 9 supreme martial artist, I have another identity. I'm an alchemist. So what if you're an alchemist? I'll kill you all the same. Debo was furious. He was furious that Fang Guoxing had gone against him time and time again. In this world, there was no lack of people who would court death. In Debo's opinion, Fang Guoxing was one of them. All of a sudden, Fang Guoxing laughed. His laughter was a little arrogant. Chapter 1225. Evil Dragon Valley, you want to use a soul attack on me? Debo's jaw dropped as if he had heard something he couldn't believe. Don't you know that soul attack spells aren't omnipotent? Martial artists with strong perception can even easily break through soul attack spells. Of course I know that, but I don't believe you can break through soul attack. Fang Guoxing growled and waved his hands. Swoosh! In a split second, a ray of cold light rushed towards Debo at an alarming speed. Soul attack! Next to him, Ning Yu's face darkened. Fang Guoxing's soul attack was something even he was not sure he could block. A soul attack performed by a peak 8th tier soul force is indeed powerful. Ning Yu made up his mind. As long as this crisis was over, he would work hard to cultivate his soul force. Ning Yu's soul force was at early 8th tier soul force. Although it was far stronger than his peers, it was still lacking compared to a veteran like Fang Guoxing. Fang Guoxing, today I will let you know that there are some people you can never mess with. Debo's face was expressionless as he watched the cold light of the soul attack approach him. He spoke indifferently. Swoosh! The moment the voice rang out, Debo took out a silvery white flying sword. Crack! He swung the sword. He raised his hand and the sword fell. The soul attack was cut in half and scattered on the ground. What? When Fang Guoxing saw that his soul attack had been broken by Debo's sword, his expression finally changed, and he revealed a horrified expression. That was a soul attack. What kind of powerful being was Debo to be able to break it in one move? If Debo was also an alchemist, Fang Guoxing would not be surprised. But Debo's soul force was not strong. Debo's soul attack was broken by his senses alone. He had to admit that Debo was indeed powerful. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Being provoked by Fang Guoxing, Debo was enraged. Debo, who was in a berserk state, quickly dashed out and punched Fang Guoxing's chest repeatedly. In just a few moments, Fang Guoxing's chest had been blasted into tatters, and not a single patch of skin was left intact. Thump! Raising his right leg, Debo kicked Fang Guoxing far away, causing him to fall heavily on the ground. Kacha! The blue stone pavement was smashed by Fang Guoxing, and the cracks spread in all directions. You overestimate yourself. Glancing at the half-dead Fang Guoxing, Debo turned to Ning Yu and said, hand over the scroll and follow me to the Emperor Palace. Do I have a choice? Ning Yu still wanted to make a final struggle. Why do you have so much to say? Debo was getting impatient. He stomped on the ground and instantly appeared in front of Ning Yu. A punch landed on Ning Yu's chest, forcing Ning Yu to take several steps back. Looking over, one could see a scroll lying flat in Debo's hand. It really is the 8 Immortals formation. Very good. After taking a closer look at the scroll, Debo grabbed Ning Yu. After thinking for a moment, he knocked out the Dark Emperor and tore through the void, disappearing without a trace. Seeing Ning Yu disappear, Sage Spiritual Su and the others had their mouths agape, dumbfounded. Taken away? Ning Yu was taken away under their noses? Everything happened too quickly, so Sage Spiritual Su and the others couldn't react for a long time. Sage Spiritual Su and the others wanted to help Ning Yu, but they didn't have the strength to do so. After the battle, all of them were heavily injured and urgently needed to recuperate. Sword of Evil. Although the Sword of Evil's aura was weak, he still dragged his feet and flew out of the capital. "Where are you going?" Sage Spiritual Su called out to the Sword of Evil. "I'm going to help Ningyu," the Sword of Evil said through gritted teeth. "How are you going to help him?" "Don't worry, I can guarantee that Ningyu's life won't be in danger for the time being," Sage Spiritual Su said in a low voice. "Won't be in danger? Do you know what we did? We killed the genius martial artist of Emperor Palace, D.E. The Sword of Evil said. The Sword of Evil seemed to be narrating a very ordinary matter. What? The speaker didn't mean anything, but the listener did. Reverend Lingxiu was extremely shocked. D.E. was the genius of Emperor Palace. Just how capable was Ningyu to be able to kill D.E.? This is going to be troublesome. Sage Spiritual Su's heart sank to the bottom. Initially, Supremacy Spiritual Su had thought that the Emperor God Palace wouldn't kill Ningyu so easily with the existence of a colossus like the Sovereign Nine Purities Palace. Now it seemed like he was wrong. Very wrong. Based on the fact that Ningyu had killed D, Emperor Palace would never let Ningyu off. Sword of Evil, you won't be able to help Ningyu even if you go now. Why don't you get rid of Fang Guoxing first and use the elixirs on him to recover to peak condition as soon as possible? Then we'll go look for Ningyu together. Sage Spiritual Su was very clear. Instead of looking for Ningyu now, it was better to wait until he recovered to peak condition. That would save them a lot of trouble. All right. The Sword of Evil wasn't stupid. Sage Spiritual Su was very clear, and so was he. The reason why he wanted to help Ningyu just now was because of an impulsive reaction. Now that he thought about it, he indeed needed to recover to peak condition before he could help Ningyu. Otherwise, he would be a burden and would be killed instantly by Emperor Palace. After everyone came to an agreement, Fang Guoxing was in trouble. "What are you guys doing? Don't come over." Fang Guoxing regretted it so much that his intestines were turning green. If he had known this would happen, he definitely wouldn't have fought with Debo. Now, not only had he fallen from the clouds to the bottom of the valley, but his life was also in danger. With the current state and anger of the Sword of Evil and the others, it was only a matter of time before he was killed. Sha! Ningyu had no idea what happened after that. After leaving the capital, Debo brought him forward quickly. After flying at full speed for a few hours, Debo finally stopped in front of a valley. "What is this place?" Staring at the narrow valley entrance, Ningyu was puzzled. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. After glaring at Ningyu, Debo led Ningyu into the valley. Swoosh! Swoosh! As soon as Ningyu and the others entered the valley, two figures suddenly appeared and blocked their way. "Tell the master of Evil Dragon Valley that someone is here." Obviously, this was not Debo's first time here. He said lightly, "Buzz, buzz." Debo's words were effective. The two figures melted into the void and disappeared. Not long after, a short and stout old man staggered out from the depths of the valley. "I can't believe it." Ningyu couldn't help but curse when he saw the short and fat old man. His eyes widened. The reason why Ningyu was surprised was not because the short and fat old man's cultivation was high, but because the short and fat old man's cultivation was too low, terrifyingly low. Chapter 1226. A Short and Fat Old Man. "Debo, what good stuff have you brought for the Valley Master this time?" The short and fat old man seemed to know Debo as he spoke before he even reached Debo. "I've brought." Debo waved the Dark Emperor in his hand. "Sky Devour Hound." Before Debo could finish his sentence, the short and fat old man yelled, "You finally brought something useful. Give it to me." As he spoke, the short and fat old man reached out his chubby palm to grab the Dark Emperor. Swoosh! How could Debo allow the Dark Emperor to be taken away? He dodged the short and fat old man's palm. I want to see the evil dragon Valley Master. Before that, I will not hand the Sky Devourer hound over to you. Debo said calmly, There's so much nonsense there. The short and fat old man was clearly enraged. He stomped on the ground and charged forward. Although the short and fat old man looked small, he was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of Debo Chi-Chi. A faint green flame appeared on his palm as the short and fat old man roared and grabbed at Debo what? Thousand Beasts flame. Seeing the faint green flame in the short and fat old man's hand, Ningyu's eyes narrowed and he was extremely shocked. The Thousand Beasts flame was ranked 30th on the Mystical Flames ranking. Any flame that could enter the top 100 of the Mystical Flames ranking was extremely overbearing and difficult to tame. The short and fat old man was only a mortal. How could he tame the 30th ranked flame, the Thousand Beasts flame? No, it's not the actual Thousand Beasts flame, it's a derivative. Suddenly, Ningyu's shocked expression eased a little. This was because Ningyu realized that the faint green flame on the short and fat old man's palm was not the actual Thousand Beasts flame, but a derivative. Even so, Ningyu was still shocked. Even the derivative flame was hundreds of times stronger than his indigo, spiritual fire. Stand down. Seeing that the short and fat old man was about to fight with Debo, a calm voice came from the void. Although the voice was calm, it was not angry and had an unquestionable tone. Boring. Hearing this voice, the short and fat old man curled his lips, then turned around and walked towards the depths of the valley. Evil Dragon Valley Master, why didn't you show yourself? Debo said with a solemn expression. Purple gold sky devouring hound, this is the 10th treasure you brought. I will definitely fulfill my promise to you. Go to the guest room and wait for a while. Once I'm done with the matters at hand, I'll come see you immediately. The voice dissipated, and everything returned to normal. Debo did not stay for long. He dragged Ningyu with one hand and leaned on the Dark Emperor with the other, walking towards the guest room with ease. Creak! The heavy stone door was pushed open, and Debo entered the room. Casually throwing Ningyu and the Dark Emperor to the side, Debo sat on the chair and fell into a strange state. What kind of deal did Debo make with this so-called evil Dragon Valley Master? Ningyu slightly released his perception, first stopping on Debo's body for a while, and then began to size up the secret room. Although it was called a secret room, it was actually just a room that wasn't too big. The structure of the room was simple. There was only a chair, a table, and nothing else. Kid, do you want to know what kind of deal Debo made with the evil Dragon Valley Master? Throw that black dog out and I can tell you. At this moment, an ethereal voice rang in Ningyu's ears. The ethereal voice that rang in his ears caused Ningyu's pupils to shrink. This voice was too illusory, and even he didn't notice any clues. Who is it? Ningyu asked in a deep voice. I'm that tall, handsome person you saw just now, the ethereal voice said unceasingly. Clearly, this was a narcissistic person. Tall, handsome, and handsome? Ningyu was a little confused. He subconsciously said, just now I only saw a short and fat old man trying to snatch the Dark Emperor from Debo. However, he was chased away by the evil Dragon Valley Master. Outside the room, the short and fat martial artist's face was filled with black lines. Although the short and fat martial artist was ugly, he had dreams. Wasn't it said that people with dreams were the most handsome? Moreover, in the evil dragon clan, his height and build were indeed worthy of the word handsome. Don't worry about anything else. Just remember, as long as you throw that black dog out, I will let you go. The short and fat old man began to tempt him, using both the carrot and the stick. Let me give you a friendly reminder. In the past, Debo came to Evil Dragon Valley a total of 9 times. He brought martial artists, magical treasures, elixirs, fruits, and a series of other things. Without exception, all of those things were taken by the Valley Master. What kind of deal did Debo make with the evil Dragon Valley Master? Ning Yu felt that the short and fat old man knew something. In fact, Ning Yu knew very well that the person speaking outside the room was the short and fat old man. Ning Yu was not a fool. How could he not know? It's simple. Debo brought 10 good things, and the evil Dragon Valley Master helped him to raise his cultivation to the advanced 9th grade supreme martial artist. The short and fat old man shrugged and said, "What?" The speaker did not mean anything, but the listener did. Ning Yu's face was full of shock. If the evil Dragon Valley Master could help Debo to advance to the advanced 9th grade supreme martial artist, didn't that mean that the evil Dragon Valley Master's cultivation far surpassed that of a supreme martial artist? He might even have reached the terrifying Earth Supreme Martial Artist realm. Ning Yu almost despaired. With his current strength, he could not even fight against intermediate 9th grade Supreme Martial Artist, let alone an Earth Supreme Martial Artist. What's the big deal? Isn't it just advanced 9th grade Supreme Martial Artist? As long as you throw that black dog out, I can also help you advance to the advanced 9th grade Supreme Martial Artist realm. The short and fat old man began to boast, displaying the great deception technique. All right, can't Debo hear our conversation? Although Debo was in a strange state, Ning Yu was still very worried. What are you afraid of? With me here, not only Debo can't hear our conversation, but even the evil Valley Master can't hear it. The short and fat old man said proudly. That short and fat old man seems to have a grudge against the evil Dragon Valley Master. Ning Yu's sharp senses had deduced some clues from the short and fat old man's words. The short and fat old man most likely had a grudge against the evil Dragon Valley Master. Even if there was no grudge, he would definitely not like the evil Dragon Valley Master. Maybe I can find a breakthrough from the short and fat old man. Thinking of this, Ning Yu said calmly, I would like to throw the black dog to you, but with Debo beside me, I dare not act rashly. After saying this, Ning Yu said no more, quietly waiting for the short and fat old man's reply. The short and fat old man was silent for a while. After a while, the short and fat old man said, Stop breathing first. I will inject a special gas into the room. As long as Debo swallows it, he will fall into a deep sleep, and then you can throw the black dog out. I still can't. Ning Yu shook his head. What now? The short and fat old man was almost going crazy. Because I can't break the door of the secret room. Chapter 1227. A strategy that's easy. Once Debo falls asleep, a whirlpool will appear in front of you. All you need to do is toss that black dog into the whirlpool. The short elder answered. That easy? Ning Yu asked suspiciously. Of course. Don't worry, I'll do it. The short elder said proudly. Still not enough. Ning Yu said after a moment of silence. I want to kill Debo. When the old man heard Ning Yu's words, he couldn't wait to rush forward and kill him. However, for the sake of the Dark Emperor, he had to suppress his anger and ask patiently, What is it now? I want to go out too. Ning Yu voiced his thoughts. This was the best chance to escape. If he missed this opportunity, Ning Yu did not want to miss it. Moreover, the short elder was weaker. If he stayed with him, Ning Yu would have a chance to escape. Whether it was the evil Dragon Valley Master or Debo, Ning Yu could not fight against them. No, this is not negotiable. The short elder rejected flatly. What a joke. The evil Dragon Valley Master hated it when others touched his things. If the evil Dragon Valley Master knew about this, the consequences would be unimaginable. Forget it. Just leave. I thought there was someone who was not afraid of the evil Dragon Valley Master's power. Who would have thought I would meet a coward like you? Ning Yu purposely provoked the short elder. Who are you calling a coward? Sure enough, Ning Yu's goading worked to a certain extent. As soon as he finished speaking, the short elder shouted, "Although I am no match for the evil Dragon Valley Master in martial arts, I am miles ahead of him in alchemy. I am talking about you." Ning Yu ignored the second half of the short elder's words and said disdainfully, "The Dark Emperor and I are only imprisoned by Di Bo. We are not the evil Dragon Valley Master yet. You don't even dare to provoke Di Bo, let alone the evil Dragon Valley Master. I am so angry." The short and stout elder was so angry that his whole body was trembling. What he hated the most was being compared to the evil Dragon Valley Master. Due to various reasons, he was unable to cultivate the martial way, but his attainments in alchemy were extremely heaven-defying. The evil Dragon Valley Master was the exact opposite. The evil Dragon Valley Master's martial prowess was formidable, but his alchemy attainments were frighteningly low. Hurry up and leave. When the evil Dragon Valley Master arrives, you will definitely suffer. Ning Yu continued to provoke him, hoping that it would play a crucial role. Outside the secret chamber, there was another period of silence. What's going on? Could it be that he had used too much provocation? That short and fat old man really left. Ning Yu frowned and murmured, "If I had known, I wouldn't have provoked him so much." Ning Yu felt a little regretful. The short and stout old man was the only way for him to leave this damned place. If the short and stout old man left, he would have to face endless disasters. "All right, I promise you." After a few more minutes, just as Ning Yu was about to be disappointed, a cold voice rang in his mind. The short and stout old man. After a few minutes of contemplation, the short and stout old man finally made up his mind to take the risk and bring Ning Yu and the black dog away. If worst comes to worst, he would leave the evil Dragon Valley first. As long as he used the sky-devouring hound to refine elixirs, his martial prowess would definitely soar. Coupled with his alchemy attainments, it was only a matter of time before his cultivation reached a high level, human supreme. Hold your breath. Later, you and the black dog will enter the whirlpool together. The short and stout old man was not an indecisive person. Since he had already made his decision, he would definitely carry it out. With a low grunt, the short and stout old man flicked his sleeves. In a split second, a stream of gas passed through the secret chamber's door and headed straight for Di Bo. Di Bo was indeed a peak mid-stage, 9th grade human supreme. As soon as the gas entered the secret chamber, he opened his eyes and bellowed, "Which scoundrel is it? Show yourself at once." Ah. When Di Bo opened his mouth, something unexpected happened. Another stream of gas passed through the secret chamber's door and entered his mouth when he was unprepared. Hot. Di Bo's first impression was that it was hot, and the second was that it was extremely hot. The heat made Di Bo feel like he was about to go crazy. Di Bo's combat strength has dropped. I might as well kill him first. With a cold glint in his eyes, Ning Yu immediately drew out the red demon sword and slashed at Di Bo. Ning Yu would definitely seize such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Buzz! However, just as Ning Yu took half a step forward, a whirlpool appeared in front of him. Along with the whirlpool, the short and stout old man's anxious voice sounded. "You only have 1 second. Hurry up and bring the black dog into the whirlpool." The short and stout old man's voice was filled with anxiety as he urged, "In 1 second, the whirlpool will shatter." "Why didn't you say so earlier?" Ning Yu, who was in the midst of running, cursed when he heard the short and stout old man's anxious words. 1 second was not enough for him to kill Di Bo. Although Di Bo was affected by the gas, he still had the combat strength of a 9th grade human supreme. "You lucked out." After glaring at Di Bo helplessly, Ning Yu grabbed the Dark Emperor and disappeared into the whirlpool. Whoosh! Everything ended as quickly as it came. However, if Ningyu was here, he would definitely notice that Debo's reaction was a little unusual. There was no anger on Debo's face. In fact, Debo's lips even curled up as if he was relieved of a heavy burden. Crack! Not long after, the space in the secret chamber cracked open again, and an old man who was even shorter and fatter than the short and stout old man appeared. Evil Dragon Valley Master, I followed your instructions. Seeing the sudden appearance of the old man, Debo said respectfully, You promised me that as long as I followed your instructions, you would help me advance to the late-stage 9th grade Human Supreme. Don't worry. Once the elixir is refined, I'll immediately fulfill my promise. When will the short and stout old man be able to refine the elixir? Debo asked, feeling a little uneasy. I am not too certain about the details. However, I believe that with his pill refinement level, it is likely that he will be able to refine a medicinal pill using the Heaven Swallowing Dog in 3 days at the very least and 1 day at the very fastest. The Evil Dragon Valley's chief shook his head and said, I've brought back the purple golden sky devouring hound. I want 2 elixirs when the elixir is ready. Debo said, He to it is. With his alchemy skills, he can at least refine 10 elixirs in 1 cauldron. What's the harm in giving you 2? The Evil Dragon Valley Master said with a smile. Achoo! At the same time, in a forest to the west of the Evil Dragon Valley, the short and stout old man sneezed and said, Kids, stop here. I'm going to start refining elixirs. Refining elixirs? Here? Ningyu was dumbfounded. Even refining elixirs required a quiet place. This place was surrounded by trees and beasts. To think that the short and stout old man would think of refining elixirs here. Dong! Without replying to Ningyu, the short and stout old man stomped his right foot on the ground. Rumble. Chapter 1228. Chapter 1228. Heart of 10,000 Beasts Ningyu was in a daze as he stared at the ground that had suddenly caved in. No wonder the old man had wanted to stop here. He had been prepared for this. Let's go. Just as Ningyu was in a daze, the old man grabbed Ningyu with one hand and the Dark Emperor with the other before leaping into the crack in the ground. Rumble. As soon as the old man and the others entered the ground, the crack closed up and everything returned to normal. Underground, Ningyu stood in front of the huge palace with his mouth agape. His face was filled with disbelief. What shocked Ningyu was not the palace, but the 2 huge stone pillars on both sides of the palace. At the top of each pillar, there was a ball of fire burning. 10,000 beasts' flame. These 2 green flames were similar to the flames on the old man's body. They were all derivatives of the 10,000 beasts' flame. Although they were only derivatives of the 10,000 beasts' flame, they were more powerful than most flames. It could be said that the flames ranked after 100 on the Mystic Flames list were not as powerful as these 2 10,000 beasts' flame derivatives. You want them. The short and fat old man noticed Ningyu's actions and said calmly, As long as you help me with one thing, I will give you these 2 10,000 beasts' flame derivatives. What is it? Ningyu did not agree to the old man's request immediately. Help me get the real 10,000 beasts' flame. After saying that, the old man pushed open the door of the palace and strode in. Thump! Hearing the old man's words, Ningyu's heart skipped a beat. The real 10,000 beasts' flame. Each of the top 30 flames on the Mystic Flames list was extremely terrifying. Under normal circumstances, with the old man's strength, there was no way he could come into contact with the 10,000 beasts' flame. Could it be? At this thought, Ningyu's face heated up. In his previous life, Ningyu had investigated the flames on the Mystic Flames list and found that some of them were extremely unique. After a certain period of time, they would enter a period of weakness. And this period of weakness was the best time to capture them. Think of a way to get the myriad beasts' flame. Clenching his fists tightly, Ningyu made up his mind to obtain the 10,000 beasts' flame no matter what. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu followed the stumpy old man into the palace. F***CK. As soon as he entered the palace, Ningyu was dumbfounded. The palace was as empty as a field. No, to be precise, there were only two things in the palace. A huge pill furnace floated in midair. Beside the pill furnace was a green flame. Because it was burning too fiercely, it emitted crackling sounds. Ningyu's gaze was fixated on the huge pill furnace. The green flame was naturally the 10,000 beasts' flame. As for the gigantic cauldron, it was ranked 30th on the heavenly cauldron list, the Nihility cauldron. Since his rebirth, Ningyu had never seen the top 100 of the exotic flame list or the top 100 of the pill furnace list. Who would have thought that in just a few hours he would see the 10,000 beasts' flame as well as the Nihility pill furnace? Come here. Just as Ningyu was in a daze, the stumpy old man shouted. Swoosh! As the stumpy old man's voice rang out, the Nihility pill furnace shrank and landed on the stumpy old man's right palm. Nihility pill furnace, purple gold sky devouring hound, large amounts of medicinal ingredients. The stumpy old man gently stroked the Nihility pill furnace and said, As long as I can obtain the real 10,000 beasts' flame, I can refine an extremely overbearing elixir. Kid, I just said that if you help me obtain the 10,000 beasts' flame, I will give you the derivative outside. The corners of the stumpy old man's mouth curled up. Now your chance is here. What chance? Ningyu asked calmly. To be honest, even if the stumpy old man did not emit any yuan qi, Ningyu would not have dared to attack him. Because you could not find any flaws in the stumpy old man. An alchemist without any fluctuation of true qi actually had no flaws on his body, which was enough to show how terrifying he was. A good chance. The stumpy old man dragged the Nihility pill furnace with his right hand and threw it. Swoosh! The Nihility pill furnace turned into a blur and shot straight at the 10,000 beasts' flame. Roar! When the Nihility pill furnace collided with the 10,000 beasts' flame, an earth-shattering roar came from within. Roar, roar, roar. After the first roar, a second, a third, several roars rang out in unison. For a moment, the entire palace shook from the roars. The roars did not affect the stumpy old man. On the contrary, he was overjoyed and said to Ningyu, Go and retrieve the 10,000 beasts' flame core from within the 10,000 beasts' flame. There was only one way to completely control the 10,000 beasts' flame, and that was to swallow the 10,000 beasts' flame core. Whoever swallowed the 10,000 beasts' flame core would be able to control the 10,000 beasts' flame. All right, Ningyu did not care about the consequences. He leaped into the air and dashed toward the 10,000 beasts' flame. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Ningyu must seize it. I must swallow the 10,000 beasts' flame core. Although he did not know why the stumpy old man would ask him to retrieve the 10,000 beasts' flame core, Ningyu could not care less at this point in time. Swallow the 10,000 beasts' flame core and control the 10,000 beasts' flame. Once he gained control of the 10,000 beasts' flame, he would stand a good chance of contending against the stumpy old man. From the way the stumpy old man threw the Nihility pill furnace, Ningyu could roughly estimate the old man's battle prowess. Powerful, extremely powerful. It was not that the stumpy old man did not have any yuan qi in his body, but it was sealed. Relying on the strength of his 9th grade soul force, the stumpy old man's mastery of soul attack spells had already reached the pinnacle. You speculated that if he wanted to defeat the stumpy old man, he would have to cultivate the netherworld samsara palm to the 10th form. This method was obviously not feasible. Roar! At this moment, Ning Yu had already arrived in front of the 10,000 beasts' flame. A giant beast formed from flames roared and attacked Ning Yu. Slash! With the red demon sword in hand, Ning Yu slashed down from the sky. With one slash, the giant beast formed from flames was split into two, and Ning Yu desperately tried to enter the 10,000 beasts' flame. Roar! 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 The 10,000 beasts' flame had a strong sense of self-preservation. How could it tolerate a mere third-grade human supreme behaving atrociously in front of it? Another 3 giant beasts formed from flames rushed out and engaged in a fierce battle with Ning Yu. Comparatively speaking, these 3 giant beasts were much stronger. After a full 3 minutes, Ning Yu finally defeated all of them. Kid, hurry up and enter the 10,000 beasts' flame and retrieve the 10,000 beasts' flame core. Otherwise, I will kill this purple-gold sky-devouring hound. The stumpy old man started to panic and started to threaten Ning Yu with the Dark Emperor. Originally, the stumpy old man thought that Ning Yu was just an ordinary third-grade human supreme, and his strength could not be that strong. But now, the stumpy old man changed his mind. Ning Yu was too strong. Ning Yu's strength was not a good thing for the stumpy old man. When he retrieves the 10,000 beasts' flame core, I will kill him. The stumpy old man did not want to complicate matters. If not for the fact that he could not enter the 10,000 beasts' flame, Ning Yu would have been killed along the way and would not have survived until now. Chapter 1229. Suppress, devour the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts and control the flames of 10,000 beasts. Using the purple-gold sky-devouring hound as the main ingredient and the emptiness cauldron as the foundation, you can refine the required elixir. The short and fat old man was extremely excited. Things were developing in a direction that he could control. The stout old man was not afraid of Ning Yu swallowing the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart, because if an ordinary martial artist swallowed the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart, there would only be one result, and that was exploding and dying. In order to devour the myriad beasts' flaming heart, one must fulfill 2 conditions. First, one soul force must be very strong. Second, the myriad beasts' flaming pill. Devouring the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart, no matter how strong one's soul energy was, without the assistance of the 10,000 beasts' flaming pill, whoever devoured the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart would be finished. Therefore, the short and stout elder was very confident in Ning Yu. The 10,000 beasts' flame pill was a grade 9 medicinal pill. He had spent a lot of effort to get his hands on it. It was impossible for Ning Yu to have the 10,000 beasts' flame pill. Get lost. In fact, Ning Yu would have sped up even without the short and stout old man's urging. The myriad beast flame was ranked 30th on the mystic flame list. Not only could it increase the speed and success rate of pill concoction, it could also be used against enemies. According to Ning Yu's guess, if he could control the myriad beast flame, he could even confront and kill an initial phase 9th grade sovereign. Chi-Chi, the red demon's sword, slashed at the bodies of the gigantic beasts, blasting away the dozens of gigantic beasts in front of the 1,000 beasts flame. As for Ning Yu, he tore through the void and dived into the 10,000 beasts flame. As soon as he entered the 10,000 beasts flame, Ning Yu's face turned deathly pale. Ha! The 10,000 beasts flame was ranked 30th on the mystic flame list. The temperature inside it was frighteningly high. Even if Ning Yu used all his essence chi, he was unable to withstand the scorching impact. 3 minutes. Ning Yu knew his body's condition very well. Even if he gave it his all, he could only last 3 minutes inside the 10,000 beasts flame. In other words, he would have to leave the 10,000 beasts flame in 3 minutes. If you don't leave, you'll be roasted. Where is the blazing heart of all beasts? Ning Yu exerted a little of his perception and walked forward step by step. At this time, It might not be appropriate to describe Ningyu as walking. Move. Moving was the most appropriate word to describe Ningyu. Ningyu's speed was very slow, so slow that it was terrifying. He was no different from a snail. Time was ticking away. In the blink of an eye, a minute passed. Bean-sized beads of sweat dripped from Ningyu's forehead. Chi-chi. Before his sweat could fall, it was evaporated by the scorching heat. Is the blazing heart of all beasts not inside? Ningyu used his perception to probe the interior of the 10,000 beasts' flame with great difficulty. After a while, a thought suddenly popped into his mind. The 10,000 beasts' flaming core was the main flame of the 10,000 beasts' flame. Its core temperature was terrifyingly high. Right now, the temperature inside the 10,000 beast flame was surprisingly uniform. There was no place that was hot or cold. Old man, there's no blazing heart of all beasts here. Ningyu asked if he didn't understand. He didn't want to waste his time here. Shouting, Ningyu said, I'll give you 3 seconds to think. Otherwise, I'll leave the 10,000 beasts flame immediately. There's no blazing heart of all beasts. The old man was slightly taken aback. Then his face turned ugly. I've been tricked. The old man was furious. He had learned about the 10,000 beasts flame in this palace from a sheepskin scroll. He had found the sheepskin scroll in one of the caves. The sheepskin scroll was obviously old. There was no reason for someone to play a prank on it. What's going on? The short and fat old man glared at him anxiously. If there was no blazing heart of all beasts inside the 10,000 beasts flame, then his plan today would be for naught. Search again. The 10,000 beasts flame must be inside. I can guarantee it. The short and stout old man said in a deep voice, You can release your soul power and carefully examine it. My soul power is too weak. It's only early stage grade 8. I'm afraid it will burn me, Ningyu replied. Ningyu wouldn't use his soul power. Given the current situation, he couldn't even use his perception, let alone his soul power. If you don't use your soul power to search, I'll kill this black dog right now. The old man was smart. He used the Dark Emperor to threaten Ningyu. Swoosh! Helpless, Ningyu could only use his soul power to search carefully. Sure enough, just as Ningyu expected, when his soul force left his body, it began to rapidly weaken. The 10,000 beasts flame had a terrifying effect on souls. Found it. When the second minute passed, Ningyu's face was filled with ecstasy. Not far in front of him, a fist-sized golden flame floated in the air. The 10,000 beasts flame was green. The 10,000 beasts flame core was gold. What's going on? Did you find the 10,000 beasts flame core? Inside the hall, the old man kept an eye on Ningyu's movements. As his soul power was unusually strong, the old man could see Ningyu suddenly stop. I don't know if this is the 10,000 beasts flame core, Ningyu said calmly. What color is it? The old man asked hurriedly. Gold, Ningyu said, the size of a fist. It is the 10,000 beasts flame core. The old man was ecstatic. Quick, take it out. I want to devour it. The old man was excited. With the 10,000 beasts flame core, he could control the 10,000 beasts flame. As long as he could control the 10,000 beasts flame, he could use the Nihility pill furnace to refine elixirs. Thinking of this, the short and fat old man was a little excited, revealing an excited expression. Are you kidding me? Ningyu said, the 10,000 beasts flame core's temperature is frightening. How do I take it out? That's a problem. The old man fell into deep thought. Ning, you did not have the 10,000 beasts flame core. There was no way he could get close to the 10,000 beasts flame core. Under this premise, Ning, you could not bring the 10,000 beasts flame core out. He had been too careless. After a moment, the old man said, "How about this? I will throw the Nihility cauldron into the 10,000 beasts' flame. You use the Nihility cauldron to store the 10,000 beasts' flame core." "No problem." Ning Yu raised an eyebrow. "Go." The old man flicked his wrist and threw the Nihility cauldron. The Nihility cauldron was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it arrived inside the 10,000 beasts' flame. "Devour." Inside the 10,000 beasts' flame, Ning Yu made a crazy move. He released all of his Yuan Qi and soul power, wrapping them around the flaming heart of 10,000 beasts and swallowing it. Puchi! As soon as the 10,000 beasts' flame core entered Ning Yu's mouth, Ning Yu vomited a mouthful of blood. Suppress! At this critical moment, Ning Yu began to communicate with the law of space. The law of space had a special ability. It could isolate space. Ning Yu wanted to use the law of space to isolate the 10,000 beasts' flame core. Chapter 1230. Attempt to control Rumble. The law of space did not disappoint Ning Yu. In Ning Yu's sea of consciousness, the law of space isolated a small area, and the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart was inside. Phew! Ning Yu heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the law of space trapping the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. Ning Yu knew that this was not the right time to study the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. He spat out another mouthful of blood and said anxiously, "Hurry up! I can't hold on any longer." The reason why Ning Yu said this was to dispel the concerns in the short and stout old man's heart. After all, his previous actions had almost been discovered by the old man, and he needed to divert the old man's attention. Hold on for 3 more seconds. Ning Yu's decision proved to be a wise one. The old man's attention was completely attracted. Terrifying soul fluctuations rushed out of his body and pushed the elixir cauldron into the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. "Quick! Throw the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart into the cauldron." The old man shouted, his eyes burning. "I'll give you a fake 10,000 beasts' flaming heart." The corners of Ning Yu's mouth curled up. He grabbed a ball of flame and used a secret technique to turn it golden. Then, Ning Yu threw the fake 10,000 beasts' flaming heart into the elixir cauldron. In order to convince the old man, Ning Yu even burned his right hand, making it look like he had suffered a serious injury. Chi! As soon as Ning Yu threw the fake 10,000 beasts' flaming heart into the cauldron shot out of the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. Swoosh! Ning Yu did not dare to be slow. He followed the elixir cauldron out of the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. After coming out of the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart, Ning Yu looked relieved. "I'm finally out." The temperature inside the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart was too high. Ning Yu could imagine that if he stayed for another 3 minutes, no, 1 minute, he would turn into a puddle of water. Fortunately, I have the Nihility pill furnace. At this moment, Ning Yu even began to thank the nothingness pill furnace. Without the Nihility pill furnace, the short and stout old man would never allow him to leave the 10,000 beasts' flame. The temperature inside the 10,000 beasts' flame was extremely high. If they stayed any longer, they would be roasted alive. Ha ha ha. Beside him, the short and stout old man grabbed the nothingness pill furnace, his face filled with ecstasy. Blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. After much effort, he finally obtained the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. "I have the 10,000 beast flame, Dan. I will swallow the 10,000 beast flame heart now." The short and fat old man did not want to wait any longer. He desperately wanted to devour the 10,000 beasts' flame heart and control the 10,000 beasts' flame. As long as he could control the 10,000 beasts' flame, he would be able to refine pills. At the thought of using the purple-gold heaven-devouring hound to refine pills, the short and fat elder became very excited. Oh, right. Suddenly, the short and fat old man calmed down. He turned to Ningyu and said, "Your mission is complete." Mission completed? What do you mean? Ningyu was slightly taken aback and asked doubtfully, "It's simple. You can die now." The short and fat old man said lightly, "You want to kill me after I'm done with the grinding." Ningyu's face darkened and he said angrily, "I did not hesitate to burn my life force to help you obtain the 10,000 beasts' flame heart. Not only did you not give me any benefits, you even want to kill me. Hee hee. This is a world where the strong prey on the weak. You are weak, so it's only natural for me to kill you." With a faint smile, the short and fat old man continued, "If I was weaker than you, the one who would be killed would definitely be me. Can we discuss this? For example, you can refine pills and I can be your assistant." Ningyu quickly calmed down and said, "A grade 9 pill was extremely difficult to refine. Even if the short and fat old man had the nothingness pill furnace and could control the 10,000 beasts flame, he definitely did not have absolute confidence in refining a grade 9 pill." Ningyu began to recommend himself and said, "I am an 8th grade early stage alchemist. My soul strength is only 1 grade lower than yours. I can help you refine some of the herbs. You should know that a grade 9 pill is very difficult to refine. Without help, it will be difficult for you to refine it." Ningyu began to try to persuade the short and fat old man step by step. Now that you mention it, it seems to be the case. Ningyu's words had a certain effect. After a moment of silence, the short and fat old man said, "I will spare your life for now. If you can help me refine a grade 9 pill, not only will I not kill you, but I will also accept you as my disciple." "No problem. I will definitely do my best." Ningyu felt as if he had been granted amnesty and hurriedly said, "All right, go and rest first. If there is a need, I will call you." Waving his hand, the short and fat old man then separated a bit of soul strength into the nothingness pill furnace and took out the golden flame that Ningyu had thrown in. Blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. The short and fat old man's face turned pale. He immediately sat cross-legged on the ground. Strands of yuan qi flowed down his arm and into the nothingness pill furnace. "Come out." The yuan qi moved back and forth in the nothingness pill furnace and soon found the location of the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. Swish! As the short and fat old man shouted, the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts flew out of the nothingness pill furnace and floated above the short and fat old man's head. Crack! In order to refine the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts, the short and fat old man directly took out the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts and threw it into his mouth to chew. The blazing heart of 10,000 beasts was specially refined to devour the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. Its effect was a bit simple. It could only assist in devouring the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts and did not have any substantial effect. The pill shattered, and a powerful energy wave shuttled back and forth in the short and fat old man's sea of consciousness. Quick, try to speed up. When you devour the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts, it will be the time of your death. Ningyu did not follow the short and fat old man's intention to rest. After all, he was not injured in the first place. He was only pretending to be injured to stay. Now that he had stayed, it would be too unreasonable to continue pretending. Swallow it. The short and fat old man did not know what Ningyu was thinking. After refining the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts, he opened his mouth and swallowed the fake, blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. Swallowing the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. Even though Ningyu was prepared, he was still shocked. Gulp. After swallowing the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts, the short and fat old man's stomach grumbled, as if it was still not full. I will need about half an hour to completely refine the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. The short and fat old man was very satisfied. The blazing heart of 10,000 beasts was said to be miraculous in the outside world. Originally, the short and fat old man thought that he would need at least 3 to 4 hours to refine the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. Who would have thought that he could refine it in half an hour? Wasn't it said that the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts was extremely difficult to refine? Why was he able to refine the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts in half an hour? Maybe the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts is very effective. This was the only explanation that made sense. Otherwise, with his strength, there was no way he could refine the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts so quickly. You'll cry later. Chapter 1231. Chapter 1231. Chapter 1231. Success. What the short old man was refining was not the real myriad beast flaming heart, but a fake. The real myriad beast flaming heart was in Ning Yu's sea of consciousness. I have to refine the myriad beast flaming heart. Ning Yu knew the severity of the problem. He had to refine the myriad beast flaming heart before the short old man. Only then would he be able to fight the short old man head-on. The short old man's martial strength was trash. As long as he could suppress his soul power, he could kill him. Although Ningyu was desperate to refine the myriad beast flaming heart, he was not reckless. The temperature of the myriad beast flaming heart was terrifyingly high. Without any precautions, it was very difficult to refine it. Go. Ningyu gathered his soul power in his sea of consciousness and separated a bit of it to touch the myriad beast flaming heart. Chi-chi. As soon as Ningyu's soul power approached the myriad beast flaming heart, it was melted by the scorching heat. This won't work. Ningyu fell into deep thought. It was obviously unrealistic to seek a breakthrough through soul power. Furthermore, Yuan Qi could not approach the myriad beast flaming heart. Under this premise, refining the myriad beast flaming heart was indeed more difficult than ascending to the heavens. What should I do? Seeing the short old man's progress getting faster, Ningyu's worry grew. Time waited for no man. He could not delay any longer. Spirit transformation technique. At the critical moment, Ningyu executed the spirit transformation technique to the extreme and told the space law to release the myriad beast flaming heart. Chi. The space law did not hesitate and directly released the myriad beast flaming heart. However, after the space law released the myriad beast flaming heart, it immediately entered the storage ring. Clearly, even the space law was a little wary of the myriad beast flaming heart and did not want to stay here. I must refine the myriad beast flaming heart today. Ningyu's mind was completely focused. At this moment, there was only one thought in his mind, and that was to refine the myriad beast flaming heart as soon as possible. Ningyu did not want to pay attention to other things, nor could he. Something's not right. While Ningyu was refining the 10,000 beasts flaming heart with all his might, the stocky old man inside the palace revealed a suspicious expression. As a 9th grade alchemist, the stumpy old man was no fool. His initial excitement dissipated, and his expression became very solemn. The short and stout old man began to doubt the authenticity of the flaming heart of 10,000 beasts. In just 10 minutes, he could feel that he had refined half of the blazing heart of all beasts. At this rate, he would need at most 20 minutes to completely refine the blazing heart of 10,000 beasts. Refining the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart in 20 minutes. Anyone would be suspicious. Could it be that the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart Ningyu gave me was fake? Is he really refining it himself? As soon as this thought popped up in his mind, the short and stout old man eliminated it. ignoring the high temperature of the 10,000 beasts' flaming heart. Just the lack of the 10,000 beasts' flaming pill was enough to eliminate Ningyu. Refining the myriad beasts' flaming heart without swallowing the myriad beasts' flaming pill? It was no different from courting death. Whatever. Let's refine the heart of myriad beasts first. Shaking his head, the short and stout elder focused his mind and began to refine the flaming heart of all beasts wholeheartedly. For a moment, the entire palace became somewhat quiet. The Dark Emperor was lying on the side, his aura weak and his consciousness blurry. The stout old man was refining the myriad beasts' flaming heart on the left, while Ningyu was refining the myriad beasts' flaming heart on the right. The only difference was that Ningyu had refined the real 10,000 beasts' flaming heart, while the old man had refined a fake one. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. Kacha! 10 minutes later, a crisp voice rang out from the short and stout old man's sea of consciousness. Whoosh! As the voice rang out, the short and fat old man suddenly opened his eyes and soared into the air. 10,000 beasts' flame, come here quickly. The stocky old man flew in front of the myriad beasts' flame and said in a deep voice. The myriad beasts' flame did not move. Come here. The short and stout old man berated. The myriad beasts' flame remained motionless. Damn it. Looks like I need to use my soul force to establish a connection with the myriad beasts' flame. Cursing inwardly, the short and fat old man separated a portion of his soul force and sent it flying towards the myriad beasts' flame. Chi! The result was beyond the short and fat old man's expectations. The moment his soul force got close to the myriad beasts' flame, it was swallowed by it. Uft! After his soul force was swallowed, the short and fat old man's expression was extremely ugly and gloomy. Fresh blood spurted out of his mouth as he shouted, "Who the F***CK can tell me what's going on?" The short and fat old man cursed inwardly. He had thought that everything was going according to his plan. But who would have thought that there would be a mishap? Phew! At the same time, on the other side, Ningyu heaved a long sigh of relief. Excitement could be seen on his face. Let me tell you what's going on. Ningyu said to the short and fat old man, there are a total of 2 10,000 beasts' flame hearts. You refined one, and I refined the other. 2 10,000 beasts' flame hearts? Are you F***king kidding me? The short and fat old man looked at Ningyu as if he was looking at an idiot. No one knew the 10,000 beasts' flame better than the short and fat old man. When he first found the 10,000 beasts' flame, the short and fat old man used all his connections to investigate it. In the end, he came to the conclusion that there was only one 10,000 beasts' flame heart. Now, Ningyu said that there were 2 10,000 beasts' flame hearts. Was he taking him for an idiot? Why would I joke with you? There are 2 10,000 beasts' flame hearts to begin with. The one you talked about is the younger one, and the one I refined is the older one. Ningyu shrugged. What the F***CK? Can you be more reasonable with your words? The short and fat old man cursed. Believe it or not, it's up to you. As long as I am not willing, you have no way of controlling the 10,000 beasts' flame heart. Ningyu said again, Humph, I don't believe it. With a cold snort, the short and fat old man sent another portion of his soul force towards the 10,000 beasts' flame. Uft! Without a doubt, this portion of soul force was also devoured. Try to control the 10,000 beasts' flame again. This time, it will definitely listen to you. Ningyu said, Come here. The short and fat old man was a little suspicious. He stretched out his right hand and waved at the 10,000 beasts' flame. Swoosh! Sure enough, the 10,000 beasts' flame flew out at an astonishing speed and arrived in front of the short and fat old man in the blink of an eye. How is this possible? The 10,000 Beasts Flame's face was filled with shock. Wasn't this too terrifying? If what Ningyu said was true, didn't it mean that the 10,000 Beasts Flame was now under Ningyu's control? Thinking of this, the short and fat old man's face turned ugly. Do you believe me now? Ningyu's voice sounded at the right time. So what if I believe you? So what if I don't believe you? The short and fat old man scolded. Do you think you are my opponent just because you can control the 10,000 Beasts Flame? I have to say you are too naive. You are a martial arts idiot. Why can't I be your opponent? Ningyu curled his lips and said disdainfully, although your soul force is strong, I have the help of the 10,000 Beasts Flame. It can firmly suppress your soul force. Chapter 1232. Chapter 1232. An agreement. What can I use to fight you? Ha ha ha. The short old man laughed. His laughter was a little arrogant and unbridled. After laughing maniacally, the short and stout old man said coldly, You might have forgotten something important. This palace is my territory. If I wanted to kill you, it would be as easy as blowing off dust. Is that so? I would like to see it for myself. With the 10,000 Beasts Flame in hand, Ningyu was fearless. The short old man did not answer Ningyu. Instead, he waved his hands. As the short old man waved his hands, the ground suddenly caved in. Swish! Not long after, a huge object slowly rose from the ground. A puppet? Looking at the huge object that suddenly appeared, Ningyu's mouth was slightly agape. He was a little shocked. This was because the puppet was too big. It occupied 8 out of 10 parts of the palace, leaving the remaining 2 parts for Ningyu and the short old man. Swish! Not long after the puppet appeared, the short and stout old man leaped up and sat on the puppet's shoulder. Crush him! The short old man was enraged. Ningyu had caused him to lose a 10,000 Beasts Flame pill. He had to take revenge for this. There was only one way, and that was to crush Ningyu and extract the 10,000 Beasts Flame heart from Ningyu's body. As long as he extracted the 10,000 Beasts Flame heart from Ningyu's body and combined it with the 10,000 Beasts Flame pill, he still had hope of controlling the 10,000 Beasts Flame pill. The huge puppet immediately swung its right arm at Ningyu after receiving the order from the short old man. Ningyu's heart skipped a beat and he hurriedly retreated. Boom! Ningyu dodged the puppet's attack, but the wall behind him was not so lucky. The wall collapsed and rubble scattered all over the ground. Not bad. The short old man's lips curled up. Increase your attack speed. Boom! Boom! The puppet's thoughts were simple. It would do whatever the short old man told it to do. His priority now was to kill Ningyu. His arms rotated back and forth, and even his legs stomped left and right, striving to crush Ningyu. Ningyu jumped back and forth in the palace and was almost hit by the arm of the puppet several times. Even though he had been hiding all this while, it wasn't like he hadn't gained anything. At the very least, when Ningyu approached the Dark Emperor, he put the Dark Emperor into his storage ring. After confirming that the Dark Emperor's life was not in danger, Ningyu could properly fight with the short and fat old man. I didn't think that you would possess a magic treasure capable of storing people. Very well. This will be able to compensate for the loss of my myriad beasts flame pill. The stocky old man was very pleased to see Ningyu store the Dark Emperor into his storage ring. A magic treasure that could carry a person was extremely rare. Even he only had one. No one would dislike having too many of these treasures. At the very least, they could slightly make up for the loss of the 10,000 beasts flame pill. This was the most important thing. Slash! After taking care of the Dark Emperor, Ningyu took out the red demon sword and slashed at the puppet's arm. Ding! Dreams were plentiful, but reality was always too harsh. Even though the red demon sword was of high quality, it could not cause the slightest bit of damage to the puppet. This flying sword of yours is not bad either. It's of high quality. I'll reluctantly accept it. Sitting on the shoulder of the puppet, the stocky old man said proudly, "If you want my red demon sword and my storage ring, we'll have to see if you have the ability to do so." Ning Yu said solemnly. Ning Yu had already planned to exchange 3 more blows with the puppet. After that, if he still could not cause any damage to the puppet, he would immediately retreat. Where there's life, there's hope. Ha ha ha. The stocky old man laughed again. As his laughter faded, the stocky old man said disdainfully, "To tell you the truth, this puppet's material is extremely special. Even if you use a high-grade monarch flying sword, you won't be able to break through its defense. Don't be too smug. I can use the flame of 10,000 beasts." With a thought, Ning Yu began to control the flame of 10,000 beasts to deal with the puppet. Swoosh! The first move, the flame of 10,000 beasts rushed out, targeting the puppet. Bang! A sound rang out, and the flame of 10,000 beasts rebounded. On the other hand, the entire arm of the puppet was charred black. So powerful? Ning Yu was a little dumbfounded. The material of this puppet was too terrifying, wasn't it? It was fine if the red demon sword could not break through its defense, but now even the flame of 10,000 beasts could not break through its defense. It was a little terrifying. Go. Ning Yu was not an indecisive person. After the first move, he did not want to use the second or third move at all. Instead, his figure flashed, and he fled out of the palace. Where are you going? Seeing that Ning Yu had left, the stocky old man patted the puppet's shoulder. Suddenly, the huge puppet burst out, its speed no slower than Ning Yu's. This was a little awkward. You could not break through the material of the puppet, and you were not as fast as the puppet. How could you escape? I can't go on like this. Seeing that the puppet was about to catch up to him, Ning Yu stopped at the entrance of the palace and shouted, "Stocky old man, if you dare to kill me, I will throw the flame of 10,000 beasts out even if I am seriously injured. Throw it. There's nothing else within a few miles." What? Initially, the stocky old man's expression did not change, but halfway through his sentence, he stopped abruptly and exclaimed, "Oh my God!" Not only was the stocky old man surprised, but even Ning Yu cursed. Hide your aura! At that moment, Ning Yu and the stocky old man seemed to have reached a consensus, and they both hid their auras. Whoosh! At the same time, above the palace where Ning Yu and the stocky old man were, 2 figures suddenly stopped. What's going on? Why is the stocky old man's aura gone? These 2 martial artists were not strangers. One was Di Bo from the Emperor Palace, and the other was the Evil Dragon Valley Master from the Evil Dragon Valley. Di Bo used his senses and said, "Not only is the stocky old man's aura gone, but even Ning Yu's aura is gone." Their auras did disappear from here. The Evil Dragon Valley Master narrowed his eyes and said, "Let's split up and search for them. With this place as the center, we'll search the area within a few dozen miles." "No problem." Nodding his head, Di Bo stomped his feet on the ground, and his body instantly disappeared. "I hope when we find them, the elixirs have just been refined." The corner of the Evil Dragon Valley Master's mouth curled up, and his body gradually became illusory. Whoosh! Whoosh! Inside the underground palace, the stocky old man and Ning Yu looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. It was too dangerous. If the Evil Dragon Valley Master and Di Bo knew they were here, the consequences would be unimaginable. The stocky old man was afraid, and so was Ning Yu. At that moment, the palace became quiet. Ning Yu and the stocky old man did not speak, nor did they continue to fight. They were afraid that the Evil Dragon Valley Master and Di Bo had not gone far. If they fought now, they would undoubtedly be courting death. Why don't we lay low for a while? Chapter 1233. Chapter 1233. Chapter 1233. Testing each other after Ningyu and the short old man finished speaking. They did not speak any more. For a moment, the noisy palace became quiet again. Ningyu, why don't we make a deal? This silence only lasted for 2 minutes before it was broken by the short and fat old man's voice. After sorting out his thoughts, the short and fat old man said in a deep voice, "Give me the 10,000 beasts' flame to control. I want to refine the pill as soon as possible." "What pill do you want to refine?" Ningyu did not reject the short and fat old man immediately, but asked doubtfully, "Heaven-swallowing overlord pill." The short and fat old man said with a shocking tone, "What? Heaven-swallowing overlord pill?" Hearing the words of the short and fat old man, Ningyu's originally indifferent face instantly became extremely gloomy. Ningyu was a peak 9th grade alchemist in his previous life, so he knew more about the heaven-swallowing overlord pill than anyone else. The heaven-swallowing overlord pill, as the name suggested, was an extremely overbearing pill. If it was only like this, Ningyu would not be shocked and would even lend the 10,000 beasts' flame heart to the short and fat old man. The reason why Ningyu was angry was because the main ingredient of the heaven-swallowing overlord pill was the heaven-swallowing dog. It could be said that without the heaven-swallowing dog, the heaven-swallowing overlord pill could not be refined. That's right, it's the heaven-swallowing overlord pill. So, in addition to the 10,000 beasts' flame, I also need that heaven-swallowing dog. The short and fat old man did not notice the change in Ningyu's expression and continued to speak. "With my alchemy level, I should be able to refine 10 pills in one furnace. At that time, I'll give you 2. No, I'll give you 3 heaven-swallowing overlord pills. How about it?" "Kaka!" Ningyu gritted his teeth in anger. This was going too far. The short and fat old man was really going too far. Didn't he know that the Dark Emperor had a good relationship with him? He actually said such words in front of him. "Aunt can tolerate it, Uncle can't." Looks like a battle is inevitable. Trying his best to restrain the anger in his heart, Ningyu looked at the short and fat old man with interest and said. The short and stout old man was confused. Wasn't it just a heaven-devouring dog? One had to know that in order to swallow the heaven overlord pill, he could even betray his own brother. If you think that the heaven-swallowing overlord pill is too little, I can add another one. For heaven-swallowing overlord pills, this is the bottom line I can accept. No. The short and stout elder frowned slightly, as if he had made a big concession. However, as soon as the short and stout old man finished speaking, his expression changed drastically, and he hurriedly controlled the puppet to fight with Ningyu. "Kacha!" This time, the giant puppet was half a beat slower. With the red demon's sword in hand, Ningyu arrived at the puppet's feet in the blink of an eye. With a slash, he chopped off one of the puppet's toes. What a freak! With one successful move, Ningyu immediately retreated. Ningyu's original intention was to chop off the puppet's ankle. However, Ningyu changed his strategy at the last moment when he thought of how terrifying the puppet was. He used the red demon's sword to slash at the puppet's toe. Fortunately, Ningyu changed his strategy at the last moment. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to touch the puppet's toe. Let's discuss this. Seeing that one of the puppet's toes had been chopped off, the short and stout old man was furious. Although he was angry, the short and stout old man still did not want to clash with Ningyu. At the very least, he could not clash with Ningyu before Debo and the evil Dragon Valley Master left the area. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. There's no room for discussion. I have no objections to you refining the heaven-swallowing overlord pill, but you can't use the heaven-swallowing hound as the main ingredient. Clearly, Ning Yu did not want to clash with the short and stout old man either. Without the heaven-swallowing hound as the main ingredient, there's no way to refine the heaven-swallowing overlord pill. The short and stout old man was in a dilemma. Without the heaven-swallowing hound, he could indeed refine the heaven-swallowing overlord pill, but the effect would be much weaker. To be precise, it was no longer appropriate to name the pill without the heaven-swallowing hound as the heaven-swallowing overlord pill. Earth-swallowing overlord pill. Without the heaven-swallowing hound, the final pill would be called the earth-swallowing overlord pill. And most importantly, even if he did not use the heaven-swallowing hound, he would have to use the hellhound as a replacement. Although the hellhound was not as precious as the heaven-swallowing hound, it was extremely difficult to obtain. I sense a trace of the hellhound's scent on you. If I'm not wrong, you should have a backup plan. Ning Yu stared at the short and stout old man with interest, not concealing his inner thoughts at all. He said, "You know that it's very difficult to encounter the heaven-swallowing hound, so you prepared a hellhound in advance to replace it. If you have the heaven-swallowing hound, you will refine the heaven-swallowing overlord pill. If you don't have the heaven-swallowing hound, you will refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill. In short, you will definitely not be empty-handed. There's no room for negotiation." Ning Yu's words shocked the short and stout old man. However, the short and stout old man did not want to give up. He continued, "I can increase the number of heaven-swallowing overlord pills to 5. Humph. Seems like you still don't understand. Since that's the case, we have nothing to say. I'd better leave as soon as possible." With a cold snort, Ning Yu stomped on the ground with both feet and scurried out of the palace rapidly. Ning Yu's goal was very clear: to leave the palace. Don't. I'm not refining the heaven-swallowing overlord pill anymore. Seeing Ning Yu leave, the short and stout old man was a little dumbfounded and was finally moved. The short and stout old man was very clear about what kind of wicked thoughts Ning Yu had. Damn it. When I refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill, I'll show you. Cursing inwardly, the short and stout old man said, "Ning Yu, I promise you that I won't refine the heaven-swallowing overlord pill anymore. I'll refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill instead." Swoosh! As he said that, the short and stout old man took out a storage bag from his chest and threw it on the ground. Boom! The storage bag shattered with a loud bang, and a black, demonic beast appeared from within. Hellhound! This black, demonic beast was the hellhound. However, this hellhound was already dead, killed by a sword through its throat. "Can you let me control the 10,000 beasts' flame now?" the short and stout old man said. "Sure, but I have a small request." Ning Yu hesitated. "Speak," the short and stout old man said through gritted teeth. "I can let you control my 10,000 beasts' flame for a short period of time, but you have to let me control your puppet for a short period of time." Ning Yu said lightly. "No way." The short and stout old man refused without a second thought. What a joke! The puppet was his trump card and could only be controlled by him. Once Ning Yu took control of it, how was he going to survive? "If you don't let me control it, then forget it." Shrugging, Ning Yu chose to close his eyes and rest. "You." The short and stout old man was furious. Ning Yu's current state clearly showed that he did not want to let him control the 10,000 beasts' flame. Although the earth-swallowing overlord pill was much weaker than the heaven-swallowing overlord pill, without the 10,000 beasts' flame, it would still be difficult for the short and stout old man to refine it. In short, the 10,000 beasts' flame was the most important part of refining the earth-swallowing overlord pill. "Fine, I promise you, but I'm afraid you can't bear it." Chapter 1234. Fail. What's so difficult about that? Ning Yu took a step forward and said proudly, "If you encounter any danger later, don't blame me for not warning you." The short and fat old man glanced at Ning Yu in disdain. Then his figure flashed, and he retreated to the other side. "I'll stay away from the puppet, lest you blame me for playing tricks." Ning Yu couldn't be bothered with the short and stout old man. Even if the short and fat old man retreated from the palace, he would definitely do something. However, this was the best opportunity to control the puppet, and Ning Yu did not want to miss it. Taking a deep breath, a sliver of soul power shot out from Ning Yu's body. Drawing a beautiful arc in the air, it entered the puppet's sea of knowledge. Hiss! Just as his soul force entered the puppet's sea of knowledge, Ning Yu's expression changed greatly, and he sucked in a breath of cold air. He had underestimated the old man's ability. A puppet's sea of consciousness was very different from an ordinary martial artist's. In other words, the puppet didn't have a sea of knowledge. In its head, there was a vortex from which an endless stream of energy was gushing out. Xiao! At this moment, the situation suddenly changed. A terrifying, devouring force shot out from the whirlpool. Its target was Ning Yu's soul force. Run! Ning Yu's heart shuddered, and he hurriedly tried to withdraw his soul power. If you withdraw your soul power now, it means that you've given up. The stumpy old man's voice rang out in a timely manner. Hearing the short and stout old man's words, Ning Yu gritted his teeth and chose to leave his soul power in the puppet's head. Chi. Ning Yu paid the price for his carelessness. The devouring power was simply too terrifying. In just an instant, it had devoured half of Ning Yu's soul force. Ha ha ha! The short and stout old man was very clear about the changes that had occurred in the puppet's head. Throwing his head back and letting out a wild laugh, the short and stout old man said to Ning Yu, "Give it up. After a while, the other half of your soul power will be devoured. It's just a strand of my soul power. It's no big deal," Ning Yu said indifferently, as if he didn't mind at all. "Furthermore, my soul force has yet to be completely devoured, so it's still unknown who will win and who will lose." "Fine, I want to see how long you can last." The short and fat elder crossed his arms in front of his chest, exuding a strong sense of confidence. Drip, drip. Time was ticking away. In the blink of an eye, 30 seconds passed. In 30 seconds, the soul power that Ning Yu had sent into the puppet's mind had already been reduced by 3/4. At this rate, the remaining quarter of his soul power could only last for 10 seconds at most. There are only 10 seconds left. You can let me control the myriad beasts' flame, the short and fat old man reminded him. "It's not time yet," Ning Yu said coldly. By now, Ning Yu had already given up on the plan of holding on for a minute. His soul force wouldn't be able to last even a minute, not to mention a minute, as long as the short and stout old man was willing. He wouldn't even be able to last 30 seconds. Under this condition, he had to find a breakthrough. For example, trying to find the core of the puppet and send his soul power there. Without hesitation, Ning Yu hurriedly sent out an even weaker soul power to search the puppet's mind. "There's a chance." Suddenly, Ning Yu raised his eyebrows, his face revealing a joyful expression. Found it. Behind the whirlpool, there was an extremely well-hidden space, and in that space there was a white ball of light. According to Ning Yu's guess, that white ball of light was the core of the puppet. Regardless of the consequences, Ning Yu forcefully sent his soul power into the white ball of light. Puchi! Just as Ning Yu sent his soul power into the white ball of light, the soul power on the other side was completely devoured by the whirlpool. Ning Yu also spat out a mouthful of blood, and his breath was slightly weakened. "Sigh, what a pity." The short and fat old man walked over and sighed. 40 seconds. You only lasted for 40 seconds before your soul power was completely devoured. Unfortunately, you failed. You don't have to say it. On the surface, Ningyu was very angry, but in fact he was very excited, because he could faintly feel that after his soul power entered the white ball of light, he could already establish a weak connection with the puppet. Ningyu was enduring. As long as his soul power completely rooted in the white ball of light and stabilized its position, the short and fat old man's puppet would be under his control. Once he controlled the puppet, the short and fat old man would no longer have any room to fight back. As for now, Ningyu only had one thought, and that was to try his best not to be discovered by the short and fat old man. Shio! With a thought, the flame of 10,000 beasts flew out from Ningyu's side and floated above the short and fat old man's head. I will leave the heart of 10,000 beasts to you for now. The time limit is 5 hours. According to Ningyu's estimation, he should be able to control the puppet in 5 hours. Therefore, he set the time limit at 5 hours. What a joke! The short and fat old man was very angry and said, "The earth-swallowing overlord pill is extremely difficult to refine. Although I have the help of the flame of 10,000 beasts and the nihility pill furnace, I still can't refine it in 5 hours. 10 hours. You must let me control the flame of 10,000 beasts for 10 hours. Only then can I guarantee that I can refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill. Do you think I am a 3-year-old child? With the flame of 10,000 beasts and the nihility pill furnace, I can refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill in 5 hours." Ningyu said, "Stop with the nonsense. From now on, after 5 hours, I will take back the control of the flame of 10,000 beasts." Damn it! The short and fat old man was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. 5 hours was just enough to refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill. Ningyu was very clear about this. Originally, the short and fat old man wanted to spend 5 hours refining the earth-swallowing overlord pill, and the remaining 5 hours to study the flame of 10,000 beasts to see if he could take it from Ningyu. Now, it seemed that the time was far from enough. "I'll let you live a little longer." The short and fat old man fiercely glared at Ningyu and then took out a storage bag. At the same time, he rolled up the nihility pill furnace and threw it into the air. He controlled the flame of 10,000 beasts to float at the bottom of the nihility pill furnace. Boom! The terrifying temperature was constantly burning the nihility pill furnace. The temperature of the flame of 10,000 beasts was extremely high, and the endurance of the nihility pill furnace was also very terrifying. Ordinary pill furnaces simply could not withstand the burning of the flame of 10,000 beasts. Ordinary flames simply could not raise the temperature of the nihility pill furnace. Go! The short and fat old man took out a medicinal herb from the storage bag and threw it into the nihility pill furnace. Chi-chi! The temperature of the nihility pill furnace was already very high, so when the medicinal herb was thrown into the furnace, it immediately burned into a pool of liquid. "Come out!" The short and fat old man shouted in a low voice. His soul force flew out of his body and entered the nihility pill furnace. The impurities of the first medicinal herb were forced out of the nihility pill furnace by the short and fat old man's soul force. Chi-chi! In the next moment, the short and fat old man grabbed another medicinal herb and threw it into the furnace. There were many medicinal herbs needed to refine the earth-swallowing overlord pill. Therefore, the short and fat old man's action would not cause any changes in a short time. Chapter 1235. Earth-swallowing overlord pill 5 hours? Seeing the short and fat old man refining the earth-swallowing overlord pill, Ningyu's mind became active. In order to prevent the short and stout old man from suddenly going berserk, he had to make 2 preparations. In other words, he had to take control of the puppet as soon as possible, while the short and fat old man was refining pills. Ning Yu was not an indecisive person. He immediately sat down cross-legged and began to communicate with the soul force in the white ball of light in the puppet's mind. That wisp of soul force was extremely weak and could dissipate at any time. I have to think of something. Ning Yu was a little worried, but at the same time he was looking forward to it. The material of the puppet was extremely special. Even the red demon sword and the flames of 10,000 beasts were unable to break through its defenses. From this, it could be seen that as long as he controlled the puppet, he would be able to fight the real evil dragon Valley Master head-on. Therefore, Ning Yu was determined to obtain this puppet. Law of space. Can I send my soul force into the puppet's mind without the short and stout old man noticing? Ning Yu immediately thought of the law of space. Relying on himself, there was no way he could send his soul power into the puppet's head. Buzz! The law of space let out a buzzing sound, which meant that there was nothing he could do. Damn it! A sapling! Cursing under his breath, Ning Yu began to communicate with the sapling. The sapling was the world tree. The spatial laws could not help it, but perhaps the sapling could. Walala! However, Ning Yu was disappointed. The sapling swayed its body, and a few shenyang pills fell from its body into its storage ring. Ning Yu's face darkened. I looked for you to send my soul energy into the puppet's mind, not for you to give me shenyang pills. Furthermore, with the short and fat old man around, there's no way I can use my shenyang pills here. How troublesome. Ning Yu felt that this was a thorny problem. Time continued to pass. With every passing minute, Ning Yu became more worried. At this rate, Ning Yu would not be able to control the puppet for 5 hours. Bang! On the other side, the short and stout old man seemed to have found something, and the speed at which he refined the engulfing overlord pill became faster and faster. The pudgy old man's speed of alchemy sped up, but Ning Yu had no clue at all. In comparison, Ning Yu was in a much more dangerous situation. Right now, Ning Yu's only hope was for the stumpy old man to refine the earth-engulfing overlord pill and give him a few, so that he could break through to the 4th grade human sovereign realm. Of course, this hope was very slim. Even if the short and fat old man refined the earth-swallowing overlord pill, he would absolutely not share it with Ning Yu. Dark Emperor, here are 3 shenyang pills for you to consume. There was nothing he could do in the short term, so Ning Yu decided not to think about it. Instead, he dived into his storage ring and brought the 3 shenyang pills to the Dark Sovereign. The Dark Emperor opened his tired eyes and opened his mouth. He wanted to say something, but his entire body was powerless and he could not make a sound. Kacha! Ning Yu exerted some strength in his palm and crushed the shenyang pill before tossing it into the Dark Emperor's mouth. Gulp! The moment he swallowed a shenyang pill, the Dark Emperor's aura surged at a visible speed. Why didn't you come earlier? Hurry and give me the remaining shenyang pills. The first sentence that the Dark Emperor said had Ning Yu speechless. However, the Dark Emperor was in a critical period of recovery right now. Ning Yu did not wish to waste his breath on him and tossed the remaining 2 shenyang pills over. Kacha! Kacha! The Dark Emperor's movements were extremely swift as he devoured the remaining 2 shenyang pills in the blink of an eye. After consuming the 3 shenyang pills, the Dark Emperor's aura gradually returned to normal. A blessing in disguise. This is truly a blessing in disguise this time around. The moment his aura returned, the Dark Emperor let out an ecstatic expression. Ning Yu, prepare 10 more shenyang pills for me. I only need 10 more shenyang pills, and I'll be able to improve further to the 4th grade human sovereign realm. 10 shenyang pills? Why don't you just go rob me? Ning Yu rolled his eyes. He was only left with 3 shenyang pills, and he had given them all to the Dark Emperor. Apart from those 3 Xingyang pills, Ningyu had nothing else but a few yuan crystals on him. Ningyu, you must help me this time around. Once I advance to the 4th grade human sovereign realm, my strength will experience a qualitative leap. The Dark Emperor's expression was solemn as he said, at that time, coupled with my talents as one of the 5 ultimates, I can even kill a 9th grade human sovereign in an instant. You can kill a 9th grade late phase human sovereign in an instant after advancing to the 4th grade human sovereign realm? Ning Yu exclaimed. He had not expected the Dark Emperor to be that strong. If he had known, he would have squeezed out 10 Xingyang pills no matter what. How is that possible? The Dark Emperor exclaimed, what I mean is, as long as I advance to the 4th grade human sovereign realm, I can kill a 9th grade early phase human sovereign in an instant, fight to a draw with a 9th grade middle phase human sovereign, or even kill them. I can even exchange a few blows with a 9th grade late phase human sovereign. I can't help you get 10 Xingyang pills right now. Rest here first. I'll think of a way to get you the earth engulfing overlord pill in a few hours. With that, Ning Yu retreated out of the storage ring, ignoring the Dark Emperor's howls. What? The moment Ning Yu stepped out of the storage ring, his face was filled with shock. That was because Ning Yu realized that the short and fat old man's earth engulfing overlord pill was already at the final stage. In just an hour, the short and fat old man would be able to refine the earth engulfing overlord pill. At the very most, only half an hour had passed. In other words, the short and fat old man would only need an hour and a half to refine the earth engulfing overlord pill. I'll think of a way to divert the short and fat old man's attention. At the critical moment, Ning Yu decided to take the risk. He declared loudly, short and fat old man, why are you so fast at refining the earth engulfing overlord pill? As Ning Yu spoke, he revealed a surprised expression. Fufu, that's considered slow. With a faint smile, the short and fat old man said, refining the earth engulfing overlord pill in an hour and a half is not my limit. It's not your limit? Ning Yu exclaimed. Of course it's not my limit. To tell you the truth, I once refined a devouring overlord Dan in an hour, and the quality was even of high grade. The short and fat old man didn't even blink when he boasted. You sure know how to boast. Ning Yu thought to himself. However, on the surface, Ning Yu revealed an envious expression. If you can refine the earth engulfing overlord pill within an hour, I'll acknowledge you as my master. Furthermore, I'll leave the Dark Emperor to you to deal with. Are you serious? The short and fat old man's eyes widened as he asked hurriedly. He didn't care if Ning Yu acknowledged him as his master. What he cared about was the heaven-swallowing dog. As long as he could get the heaven-swallowing dog, he didn't mind having Ning Yu as his disciple. Really? Ning Yu revealed an ecstatic expression as he moved his feet, wanting to get closer to the short and fat old man. Stop. There must be something fishy going on. The short and fat old man understood this logic. He extended his palm and said, I'll refine the earth engulfing overlord pill first. Come over when I'm done. The short and fat old man was also afraid that Ning Yu would attack him at this time. Because most of his soul force was in the nothingness pill furnace, his current battle strength wasn't too strong. He could only fight to a draw with Ning Yu. Good chance. Chapter 1236. The Stubby Old Man's Shock. The portion of soul energy that Ning Yu had sent out was his main, core, and most important soul energy in his body. In order to control the puppet, Ning Yu had gone all out. Seeing that the stubby old man was about to refine the earth-engulfing overlord elixir, the consequences would be dire if Ning Yu did not work hard to control the puppet. Swoosh! Under the guidance of the law of space, Ning Yu's soul energy darted out from underground and arrived below the puppet in the blink of an eye. Coincidentally, the stubby old man's gaze landed on the puppet. Not good. The sudden change in events caused Ning Yu's heart to go cold, and he cried out in his heart, "Shit!" The stubby old man's soul energy was at the 9th grade level. If he were to probe with all his might, he would be able to detect Sumo's soul energy easily. In the end, it was different from what Ningyu had guessed. I clearly sensed something approaching the puppet at a rapid speed. Why is there nothing? The stubby old man frowned slightly and looked at the puppet with a puzzled expression. Forget it. I'd better hurry up and refine the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir. Ning, you shouldn't dare to touch the puppet. Thereafter, the stubby old man shook his head. Another hour. I'll be able to refine the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir in an hour. Buzz, buzz. The stubby old man retracted his gaze and focused on refining the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir. Phew! As the stubby old man looked at the puppet, Ningyu was extremely nervous, afraid that the old man would notice something amiss. Fortunately, everything passed and the stubby old man did not discover anything. Letting out a long breath, Ningyu began to control his soul energy and approached the puppet's head slowly. Ningyu's nerves were tense the entire time. As long as the stubby old man had any reaction, he would stop immediately. Just like that, it took half an hour before Ningyu's main soul energy entered the puppet's head. Swoosh! After the soul energy entered the puppet's head, Ningyu's nerves eased a little. Ningyu knew very well that now was not the time to relax. He controlled this wisp of soul power to enter the white ball of light and fuse it with the wisp of soul power from before. Rumble. Needless to say, the moment the two soul forces came into contact, they completely controlled the white ball of light. I see. After controlling the white orb, Ningyu's face lit up. Ning, you could clearly sense that he had established a connection with the puppet. Furthermore, there was another wisp of soul force in the puppet's mind. Without a doubt, that wisp of soul power belonged to the short and fat elder. The short and fat elder's soul power seems a bit weak. Ningyu fell into deep thought. The short and stout old man's soul force was indeed very weak. According to Ningyu's guess, if he used his full strength, he would be able to quickly dispose of the short and stout old man's soul force. Ning, you did not intend to do so. The short and fat elder was refining the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir, and the effects of the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir were acceptable. At the very least, there was a chance for Ningyu to advance to the 4th grade human supreme realm. Ningyu was waiting for the short and fat elder to refine the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir before he would dispose of the short and fat elder's soul force. Only a fool would not take advantage of the benefits. Ningyu's goal was very clear. Squeeze! The short and fat elder did not know what Ningyu was thinking. At this moment, the short and fat elder's face was extremely solemn as he stared at the hollow elixir furnace. After an hour of refining, the earth-engulfing Overlord Elixir had reached its most crucial moment. Pill formation. There were already 12 embryonic elixirs in the hollow elixir furnace. The short and fat elder was making his final effort. After the 12 embryonic elixirs were squeezed and forged, 10 elixirs would be completely refined. Drip, drip. The short and fat elder did not dare to be careless in the pill formation segment, because success or failure depended on a single thought. A single thought could turn one into a demon or an immortal. Time flowed by slowly. For the short and fat old man, the flow of time was simply too slow. Ever since the short and fat elder became a Tier 9 elixir refinement master, he had never felt that time was passing so slowly. In the short and stout old man's heart, half an hour felt as long as a year. Bang! Half an hour later, a dull sound came from the hollow elixir furnace. The short and fat elder then slapped the elixir furnace with his right hand. In an instant, the lid flew up and several black elixirs shot out from the elixir furnace. Swish, swish, swish. Looking carefully, there were a total of 10 elixirs. 10 earth engulfing overlord elixirs. After an hour and a half of full effort, the short and fat elder did not disappoint and successfully refined 10 earth engulfing overlord elixirs. After the 10 elixirs were successfully refined, the short and fat elder heaved a sigh of relief as he revealed an ecstatic expression. Although the earth engulfing overlord elixir was not as effective as the heaven engulfing overlord elixir, its effects were not weak either. With 10 earth engulfing overlord elixirs, there was hope that the short and fat elder could unlock the seal in his body a little, allowing his cultivation to soar to the honorable realm very quickly. Kid, come here. The short and fat elder was in a great mood. He waved at Ningyu and said, "Thanks to your 1,000-beast flame, I was able to refine the earth engulfing overlord elixirs in such a short time." The first part of the short and fat elder sentence was fine, but the second part made Ningyu feel like cursing. "To repay you, I've decided to kill you and feed you to the dogs," the short and fat elder said calmly, as if he was talking about something unimportant. "You're not keeping your word." Ningyu pretended to be angry, but at the same time he pretended to be terrified. In order to appear more realistic, Ningyu's whole body was trembling to the extreme. "Ha ha ha." The short and fat elder burst out laughing and said, "With the earth engulfing overlord elixirs, I'll soon be able to raise my cultivation to the honorable realm. When that happens, I'll be able to kill a piece of trash like you with a wave of my hand." Saying this, the short and fat elder flicked his wrist and tossed one of the earth engulfing overlord elixirs into his mouth. "Is that so?" Ningyu's terrified expression soon returned to normal. Ningyu raised his eyebrows and said calmly, "You promised me that I'll get 5 of the earth engulfing overlord elixirs after refining them. How dare you go back on your words?" "So what if I go back on my words?" The short and fat elder came to a stop and looked at Ningyu curiously. "Are you going to kill me?" "Puppet." The short and fat elder had lost his patience. He had decided to kill Ningyu now. He could sense that the auras of Bo and the evil Dragon Valley Master were getting further away. If he were to kill Ningyu now, the evil Dragon Valley Master would not be aware of it. What's going on? However, no matter how the short and fat elder yelled, the puppet remained motionless. The situation confused the short and fat elder. The puppet was his trump card. If the puppet could not move, he would not stand a chance against Ningyu. "Hee, let me tell you what's going on." With a smile, Ningyu said, "The puppet is tired. It might need to rest for some time." Chapter 1237. To look pleased in secret. "Do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid?" The short old man's expression was extremely ugly. He had a deep understanding of puppets. He had never encountered anything like sleeping or resting for a period of time before. It didn't make sense for the puppet to fall into a deep sleep after encountering Ningyu. "You must be the one behind it." The short and stout old man's face darkened completely. Ningyu was simply too despicable. Not only did he snatch away his myriad bestial flame, but he even wanted to snatch his puppet. In his rage, the short old man stomped on the ground and charged forward. Swish! Swish! The short old man's Yuan Qi was sealed, so his attacks were all soul attacks. 2 cold beams shot out from the short old man's eyes, attacking Ningyu from above and below. Go! Ningyu's face was emotionless as he faced the 2 soul forces that were charging at him. Swish! Following Ningyu's words, the myriad bestial flame darted out and blocked in front of Ningyu. Chi! Under the scorching heat of the myriad bestial flame, the short old man's two soul forces were instantly reduced to nothingness. Without the puppet and your soul force suppressed by the myriad bestial flame, how are you going to fight me now? Ningyu crossed his arms in front of his chest, appearing very calm. With a myriad bestial flame and the puppet under his control, Ningyu was fearless against the short old man. Go! The short old man was very astute. Where there's life, there's hope. He was leaving today so that he could kill his way back tomorrow. Without leaving behind any harsh words, the short old man grabbed the 10 earth-engulfing overlord pills and charged forward. Stop him and snatch the earth-engulfing overlord pills. With a thought, Ningyu began to control the puppet. Bang! The puppet stomped its right foot on the ground, and its massive body charged forward. Although the puppet was huge, its speed was simply too fast. It was so fast that the short and stout elder was struck before he could even react. The huge arm blasted the short and fat old man several feet away, and his body slammed heavily into the wall. Pucci! Spurting out a mouthful of blood, the short and stout old man gnashed his teeth in anger. He had really failed miserably today. If he had known that Ningyu had a way to control the puppet, he would not have refined the earth-swallowing overlord pill even if he was beaten to death. That's right, earth-swallowing overlord pill. Thinking of this, the short and fat old man hurriedly took out the engulfing overlord pill. At this moment, the short and stout old man didn't care about anything else. He tossed the 10 engulfing overlord pills into his mouth. That's my elixir. How dare you use it? The short and fat old man's actions made Ningyu very angry. The 10,000 beasts flame shot out in an instant. Just before the short and stout old man swallowed the pill, it hit the short and stout old man's wrist. Walala! 10 earth-engulfing overlord pills were scattered on the ground. Shio! With his quick reflexes, Ningyu disappeared in the blink of an eye. Soon, Ningyu revealed himself. However, there were 10 black elixirs in Ningyu's hands. After a series of twists and turns, all 10 earth-engulfing overlord pills were snatched away by Ningyu. Ningyu, hurry up and give me those elixirs. I can advance to the rank 4 human sovereign realm. The Dark Emperor seemed to have been paying attention to Ningyu. As soon as Ningyu got his hands on the 10 earth-engulfing overlord pills, he yelled, 10 is too much. I'll keep 2 for myself. Ningyu knew that the Dark Emperor was about to advance to the rank 4 human sovereign realm. With a flick of his wrist, he tossed 8 earth-engulfing overlord pills into his storage ring. As for the remaining 2 elixirs, Ningyu opened his mouth and swallowed them. Rumble! The earth-engulfing overlord pill was extremely potent. It rampaged within Ningyu's body, as though it was trying to break free. Suppress it! Ningyu controlled the puppets and myriad beast flames to lock onto the short and plump old man, while circulating the spirit transformation technique to refine the earth-engulfing overlord pills. Under the circulation of the spirit transformation technique, the 2 earth-engulfing overlord pills did not last long before they completely quietened down. Ningyu was clear that it was impossible for him to refine the earth-engulfing overlord pills in a short period of time. At the very least, he would need half an hour. And Ningyu did not want to waste half an hour. That was because even if he completely refined the earth-engulfing overlord pills, Ningyu would not be able to advance to the rank 4 human sovereign realm. After suppressing the earth-engulfing overlord pills within his body, Ningyu slowly walked towards the short and plump old man. What are you trying to do? The short and plump old man said furiously, as though he was not afraid of power. Bang! Ningyu could not be bothered to talk nonsense with the short and plump old man. He first kicked the short and plump old man's chest, before grabbing the Nihility pill furnace from the short and plump old man's body. The Nihility pill furnace was ranked 30th on the heaven ranking of pill furnaces. One could imagine how important it was. That's my Nihility pill furnace. The short and plump old man trembled with anger. Ning Yu took away his earth-engulfing overlord pill, his myriad beast flames, his puppets, and now his Nihility pill furnace. He had nothing, apart from his body and his rank 9 spiritual soul force. The short and plump old man had nothing. No, it's my Nihility pill furnace. Ning Yu threw the Nihility pill furnace into his storage ring and shrugged. I'll give you a chance to live. Show me all your spiritual soul force and let me devour it. You sure you want to devour my spiritual soul force? The short and plump old man seemed to have heard something unbelievable as he exclaimed. I'm sure, Ning Yu said. Okay, I'll show you my spiritual soul force and let you devour it. The short and plump old man did not hesitate at all. With a thought, he showed all the rank 9 spiritual soul force in his body. Open your mind. I'll devour your spiritual soul force now. Ning Yu opened his mouth and swallowed the short and plump old man's rank 9 spiritual soul force without saying a word. Gulp. After swallowing the rank 9 spiritual soul force, Ning Yu even burped and made a very satisfied expression. Devour, you'll cry later. Seeing Ning Yu devour his spiritual soul force, the short and plump old man was very excited. Ning Yu's spiritual soul force was only early rank 8 spiritual soul force, while he was early rank 9 spiritual soul force. There was a big gap between the two. The short and plump old man did not believe that Ning Yu could be so powerful that he could devour his spiritual soul force. Most importantly, the short and plump old man was very confident that Ning Yu did not use the flame of myriad beasts. If you used the flame of myriad beasts, I might have some scruples. Now it seems that you're a complete hothead. The short and plump old man already knew what was going to happen next. 10 seconds. I only need 10 seconds to devour your spiritual soul force and control your body. Sapling, I'll leave this spiritual soul force to you. How could Ning Yu not know what the short and plump old man was thinking? However, with the help of the sapling, even if the short and plump old man's spiritual soul force had reached middle rank 9, Ning Yu would not be afraid. Swish! In the next moment, the sapling suddenly rushed out from the storage ring and floated above Ning Yu's head. Swish! Chapter 1238. Thank you for your soul force. I promise I won't waste any of it. With the help of the sapling, Ning Yu said confidently, You're welcome. I'm doing this to survive. It's what I should do. The old man replied politely to Ning Yu. After saying this, the short and stout old man fell silent and started to communicate with the soul force in Ning Yu's sea of consciousness. However, just as the old man tried to control his soul force, he realized he had lost contact with it. After spitting out blood, the old man's face was as ugly as if he had eaten *T. This. How is this possible? Due to the shock, the old man stuttered. His soul force was at early stage rank 9. What kind of monster was Ning Yu? What kind of sorcery did he use to devour his soul force? Nothing is impossible. Ning Yu said lightly, You just said you wanted to thank me. Why are you regretting it now? How can I regret it? The old man's eyes flickered. His heart and mind were different. Contact the evil dragon Valley Master. After losing his soul force and the engulfing Overlord elixir, he had become a powerless man. In his current state, even a true martial realm martial artist could kill him in an instant. Only by contacting the evil dragon Valley Master would he have a chance of survival. Although the chances were slim, it was better than none. Thinking of this, the pudgy old man calmed Ningyu down while contacting the evil dragon, Valley Master. As long as you don't regret it, go to the side first. I'm going to refine your soul force completely. Waving his hand, Ningyu gestured for the old man to go to the side. As for himself, he began refining the soul force in his mind. The devouring power that shot out from the sapling only erased the consciousness in the short and fat old man's soul. It didn't take away his soul power. Ningyu controlled his soul force and began to gorge it. Buzz! The strength of an early stage rank 9 soul energy was terrifying. Ningyu had only devoured half of it, and his soul force had already advanced to the middle 8th stage. It was not hard to imagine that once he devoured all the remaining soul power, his soul power would probably increase to the advanced stage of 8th grade. Ningyu's eyes were tightly shut. From the outside, it looked like he was wholeheartedly refining the soul force. However, only Ningyu himself knew the truth. He wasn't in a hurry to refine the remaining soul power. Instead, he paid close attention to the short and fat old man. Ningyu had his own reasons for leaving the short and stout old man behind. Go. Half an hour later, the pudgy old man finally moved. The stout old man first looked at Ningyu to make sure that he would not be noticed by Ningyu. Then he took out a crystal ball from his pocket. With a flick of his wrist, the short and stout old man took out some paper money from somewhere and carefully wrote down a line of words. Then he stuffed the paper into the crystal ball. With a sudden burst of strength, the short and stout elder threw the crystal ball out. Shio! The speed of the crystal ball was very fast. In the blink of an eye, it disappeared. Shio! What the short and stout elder didn't know was that the moment the crystal ball left the hall, the 1,000 beasts' flame suddenly appeared and blocked its way. A soul force shot out from the 1,000 beasts' flame and took out the paper from the crystal ball. After thinking for a while, the soul force erased the words on the paper and copied the handwriting on the paper. The heaven-devouring overlord pill has been successfully refined. However, a giant puppet suddenly appeared. That puppet killed Ningyu and injured me. Come to my rescue quickly. Then the soul force controlled the paper into the crystal ball and merged with the void, disappearing. Sha! At the same time, in the dense forest above the palace, 2 martial artists bumped into each other. Did you find anything? These 2 martial artists were none other than Di Bo and the evil dragon Valley Master. The martial artist who spoke was the evil dragon Valley Master. His expression was a little ugly. After searching the area for a full 2 to 3 hours, he still couldn't find anything. Nothing. Di Bo shook his head. His expression was also ugly. He had wasted a few hours of effort. Moreover, to Di Bo, Ningyu was his top priority. The current palace master of the Emperor God Palace wanted to bring Ningyu back. How could he not be angry that his cooked duck had flown away? However, there was nothing Di Bo could do. Search again. I don't believe that they won't come out. The evil dragon Valley Master said coldly. Today was the most humiliating day he had ever been. The short and stout elder stole the heaven-devouring dog while he was in seclusion. This made him very angry. Shio! At this moment, a cold light suddenly shot out from the ground. Pa! The evil dragon Valley Master's hands moved quickly, and he caught the cold light in his hand. Kacha! The evil dragon Valley Master crushed the crystal ball and saw the paper inside. Go, they are underground. When he saw the string of words on the paper, the evil dragon Valley Master dashed out without saying a word. Underground? Evil dragon Valley Master, could it be a trap? Di Bo followed closely behind the evil dragon Valley Master with a serious expression. In the face of absolute power, all schemes are useless. After saying this, the evil dragon Valley Master stomped the ground with his right foot. Instantly, the ground collapsed, and he drilled into the ground. Damn it! Di Bo cursed under his breath. He couldn't care less. His priority was to capture Ningyu. As long as he could capture Ningyu, it would be worth the risk. There is indeed a palace. The evil Dragon Valley Master and Bo quickly arrived at the entrance of the palace. Take a few steps back. I will blast open the door of the palace. The evil Dragon Valley Master's fist contained a violent wave of yuan qi as he punched the door of the palace. Kacha! Not only was the door strong, but the evil Dragon Valley Master's strength was also heaven-defying. With just one punch, the evil Dragon Valley Master blasted the door open. Oh no! As soon as the door was blasted open, the evil Dragon Valley Master's expression changed, and he quickly retreated. A giant arm was swinging at him from the sky. Fortunately, the evil Dragon Valley Master retreated in time. Otherwise, if he was hit by the arm, the consequences would be dire. Puppet! After taking a few steps back, the evil Dragon Valley Master locked his eyes on the giant puppet. His expression was extremely grave. The evil Dragon Valley Master could clearly feel that the material of the puppet was special. It was extremely tough. Kill it! Although he knew that the material of the puppet was tough, the evil Dragon Valley Master did not want to give up. He took out his flying sword and slashed at the neck of the puppet. Ding! A crisp sound was heard. The evil Dragon Valley Master did not dare to delay and immediately retreated. After all, his flying sword was an upper-grade royal-class flying sword. Even an upper-grade royal-class flying sword could not break the defense of the puppet. One could only imagine how tough the puppet was. Look, the short and fat elder and Ningyu are inside. Bo's attention shifted away from the puppet and looked into the depths of the palace. In the deepest part of the palace, Ningyu's eyes were white and his aura had completely disappeared. As for the short and fat elder, he was not much better. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.